remember watching these F-18 pilots. They got in the pattern, and they're like, God, I've never had such a nerve-wracking landing in my life. I'm like, you land on carriers, and they're like, people are saying that, but he says, yeah, it's much different. I'm like the only guy there. I don't have all this other traffic,
Well, so we got Hartford, Dallas, and LAX. What was the fourth one? Denver.
Atlanta, Hartford.
Well, Hartford is
Atlanta,
Denver, Dallas, and LA. Okay, all three of those.
Atlanta, Dallas, Fort Worth, Denver, LA. Yeah.
All three of those are Class 2 airspace, which say to people like me, stay away. Don't even think about coming in. I don't care if you have an emergency. Do not come in.
All right. So
I saw one interesting one. It says, did you know that you can fly general aviation over the Hudson, just like right down the Hudson?
Yeah.
And he says, as long as, what do you call it when there's like zones where...
Corridors.
It might have been what he was calling. Basically, if you stay low enough...
Yeah.
And tell everybody where you are.
Yeah.
And he goes, just for the hell of it, we flew up and back, took pictures. It was...
Okay, so you have to slide down there.
So going over LAX, there's a corridor.
A little bit more.
That goes right over the center of the airport.
I thought when you were there, you had all of us in there.
I want to make sure.
Okay.
Anyways, there's this corridor. It's between 2,500 feet and 5,500 feet. And it's right down the center. And you use the control tower for your inbound, outbound traffic. That's your center line there that you go past each other.
O'Hare's number 5. See, I always thought O'Hare was higher.
I thought O'Hare would be higher than that too.
Okay, so now I got to come down
Phoenix,
here.
Phoenix is...
Greg, why don't you go down there and see if I'm in the frame?
Let me just turn it my way and see if...
Yeah.
That works.
Wow, you are right on the edge, any vibration.
I know.
No. You have to move to Richard.
You gotta get closer to me. Don't you have a wide angle lens on that thing?
No, it's the cheap work phone.
Okay.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna have to be really friendly here.
You're right at the edge, but...
I hope everybody put their deodorant on.
Not me.
I say...
What?
What if it was sitting over there? It'd be up a little bit, but it'd be back further.
Can we all sit here? Pick it up.
Then we have to move that. We only have our cable so long, right?
We're not hooked up. This didn't feed that. Remember?
Oh, it didn't work at all.
No.
You didn't retry it.
No.
See, now we got a lot more room to work with.
Problem is, I don't know when it can hear us over there, but.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But that's okay. Can you? So do you see?
Yeah, I think it'll be fine, but you have to go.
All right, I'll go check it too. All right, so you're at the edge of the frame.
Are you looking at that too?
I'm looking at busiest general aviation. It says
I'm pretty sure.
Deer Valley Airport. Oh, hi. We're over there now.
Well, what about just the end?
No, it's good there. I'm thinking.
But you weren't sure about hearing us. What if you put us
I
right at the edge of that table?
I tested in my house about that distance when I was trying to figure out if the speaker box
Can you test it right now?
came out fine.
Right now? You listen to...
When I tested all the shit before, and I tested at a distance in case this thing didn't work. And you can hear pretty clear. How about I go ask the audience, because I know someone's tuned in already.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear us?
Test.
That's a question. Can you hear us? This might be it.
Yeah, because they might be listening to
Some messages.
radiation that doesn't include...
All messages visible.
Right.
All right.
Okay, here's the big one.
There's 2 people tuned in. Can you?
Well, I'm sure they can hear you. You're right on top.
No, I want to know if they can hear you. You need to slide to your left, just a hair.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then.
Somehow we should have turned the whole table to be along the... like
That's okay. But go check and see if I'm still in frame.
I think you are.
This is under MiceCast.
Yep.
All right.
Every time I get up, I'm checking to make sure.
But you're not, because they won't let you in here.
I know, but it's just a natural habit to check it all the time.
All right. So. So I'm gonna let people know.
You gotta know. forgot there was something I used to tell people because my mom told me that.
Turn on the H2.
Okay, I'm listening to us right now. Hi guys, I can hear me.
Oh, good.
Oh, and you're.
Oh, good.
That's a pretty good distance, and it's loud enough over all the other crap.
Yeah, there we are.
Awesome.
I got about a good 8-second delay, but
Well, that's okay.
Then turn it off because it's going to totally fuck you up. Okay.
From inside.
Okay, we are recording now.
All right. Plan. Okay.
And on this thing, we're probably, you and I, distinctly left, right.
Okay, that's fine. But I can mix it down to mono if I have to.
Let me,
Don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. Fine.
I was going to double check the hearing. It's not going to mess with it. It's just
All right. Someone can't leave well enough alone.
Yep. I've had too many times I've been the editor. It's like, oh, what happened? I did that interview with Brandy, and it was my old H4 that you had to push record twice on. Interview, and she looked the best lighting I've probably ever set up for an interview.
You got nothing.
I got the audio off the camera, which, Mark or the Canon D5 Mark II audio off the camera is not that great.
No.
Okay. Okay. Did Mike tell you about? So what did you find? Did it change your theories?
no, I ended up going on to this.
You went on to something else?
Onto something. You know me, I'm very.
You didn't find the supporting documents for your plane.
I'm going through an FAA thing, and it has all this other crap.
What question are you trying to answer?
I'm
Business
challenged.
airports by operation.
Oh,
I'm challenged because I saw something on the internet that
GA only though.
challenged the.
Well, operation, GAA, commercial, all of it together.
Oh, all of it.
All of it together. See, it used to be
US.
Van Nuys was one and John Williams was number two, but it's because you got both commercial and aviation
Not
together.
still O'Hare. I'm pretty sure it's
my hair's
Atlanta.
like
O'Hare.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right after LAX.
All right.
Some of the busiest Teterboro,
Teterboro.
Johnson Regional, Long Beach.
Teterboro's where they tried to tell Sully to land.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Not gonna make that, are we?
I really like that movie, though. I don't know how much was fictionalized, but when the whole thing about we didn't get to. How many times did it take you to get it right? We only
That-
had one.
37 or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
16 tries.
Whatever.
Right.
16 tries. Oh, and you turn to the airport as soon as the birds hit you.
Yeah, and you were told what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched this one
But
today.
I understand that was word for word what was in the
I
transcript.
watched this one today where the trainer put this guy into a spin, like in a 150 or something. It's all you can see, and it's like, oh, and he's, the guy's fighting the yoke. He said, take your hands off the yoke. And then he's like,
Step on.
push hard, left rudder, or whichever.
Push hard opposite rudder.
He kept pushing it hard, and then he says, okay, now grab it. And I'm like, damn. And I was watching the altimeter, and they were like at 8,000. They were down at 4,000 before they recovered.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's fail. You got to do it in less than 2.
All right.
coming.
So this is running, right?
That is running.
All right.
And I take it that is.
That's been running.
Well, I know that's running, but we're not officially.
No.
You know,
I
the cool thing on this is
took too much time to frame it. Whatever. I didn't want to.
You didn't want to what?
I don't want to make an official introduction, so we're sure it's running.
Oh, okay.
And I'm wondering if I should I plug a battery in to start right away, or should I let it?
That?
Yeah.
plug the battery in. It doesn't hurt. They always joke in
Can't let good enough alone.
No. I heard it. I heard it in my head.
in flight school. They always joke about Cessna insurance because it's a high-wing aircraft. People won't prone to spin, and if you were, you just let go of everything, and it'll balance itself out because the way it's weighed down.
I watched something else like that. I think it was a high-wing plane to where it just corrected itself. It's like,
Yeah, because I've never been taught spins. They say they take you up in a Piper to learn spins because you need the low wing.
yeah, I couldn't see what. I just saw from the inside.
We're gonna give you some juice.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you all
You've
some
seen the
juice.
famous one
Oh,
where,
just in
like,
case
it was
no
an
one's
F-14
watching the
or
moderation,
something,
I don't
after
think.
the guy ejects, the plane.
Someone might watch the
corrected
moderation. Who knows?
itself.
We'll see.
The screw up was a Tomcat pilot. He never flew again. They
All right,
let him
so
keep
that's-
his wings, and he ended up
that's
making
cranking.
captain in the Navy. What was it? He basically, he shot down an F4. They were in some training exercise. I don't know. I think the F4s were out training. The F-14s might have been flying cap. I don't know. And he's got some live missiles, and there was some chatter about, clear to fire. Yes. The F-14 pilot, lieutenant, shoots down the F-4. They survived, they ejected, but he never flew again. But they let him stay in and keep his wings, and he made captain.
Sure.
That's cool.
Not today's zero defect military.
Yeah.
Bam. All right, so are you ready to start?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's going to go to park logs.
Oh. Okay, so I'm going to give us a start. All right.
Go ahead. Wait. Did you tell him about our new tagline?
Oh, he was on the signal chat, but you can say it. But let's get the intro.
Well,
then you
what,
can-
what was it? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
We only come back to there
When it's needed, yeah. Okay. All right. Hello and welcome to MiceCast. With host Greg, Mike, Shaq.
Camera's over there.
Okay, but I'm talking to the microphone. Okay.
After all these years,
Greg, Mike, and Shaq. I'm
he's
so
still getting the shaft.
Bill's getting it, yeah.
so sorry for you. I'm talking to the microphone. If you
I was looking at that.
Boy, we're having a side
That's
argument.
right. No, if you're listening, this is being live streamed, so there's gonna be some stuff you might miss.
I'm sure they
sorry.
figured that out.
Sorry. Well, those people might not be the same as these people.
That's
These
true.
people in the box. All right, so we're here. Greg has a new tagline. Well, an additional. I want to say new. It's not replacement, but it's apropos for the occasion.
It is.
Go ahead and say it.
We come back when we're in need.
Yes. And
Or
we
something to that effect.
Yeah,
We're needed. Not when we're in need.
Well,
We're needed.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up
I could
because it's recorded. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I did.
But the reason we're gathering,
We gather here today.
we're dusting off the equipment. Notice how we have 2005 technology here.
Well, they won't let us in with the mixing board. So. Though we've done that before, but I didn't want
Time
to.
ago.
These days it's kind of hard to push it.
Hang on a second. I'm getting there.
Yeah, you know, tripods and
You guys,
Well,
fun stuff.
a lot of this is in response to D23.
oh my gosh, yeah.
And not only to D23, but every Tom, Dick, and fucking Harry influencer that think they have all the answers when Disney hasn't given them all. Some of it's just a tease. Now, there's one that I've already went, I don't want to say toe-to-toe. Someone posted something on tap.
Booming the mic.
There was something that I already responded to because someone did an overlay. And after I made the response of how do you know this? Look at this defect and the renderings of your placement. It might be partially right because then Disney the next day told us where this particular area was going to get to. It's going to end up in the park. And because we're in the park, we're going to end up with screaming children.
It's okay. It's
But
okay.
he's enjoying himself. You know,
The guys only podcast when we are needed.
Yeah, well,
That's
it's very
close enough.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Or
needed
we
because-
should say the MiceCast crew only podcast now when we're needed. And we're needed now.
And we're
We're gonna parse through all this bullshit.
grumpy
see-
guys.
See what we can figure
All right.
out.
So do you want to start? You want to start local and move east, or do you want to start east and move local?
let's go east because then we can end up here in our home.
Can I throw in one real quick little goodie here too that's going on somewhat what you're saying here? Several weeks ago, Disney had a huge big song and dance show that they gave the city of Anaheim for the new, what do we call it again? Disneyland?
Disney Forward.
Disney Forward. And they were showing all these artist renditions of what they want to do, the hotels and everything. Even my kids took a look at it because they gave us all the little propaganda materials. And you go look real close, and it's swirls, and it's little twists here and there of colors there's no details of anything that's being
Well,
built. They're just
there is
showing.
now.
Well, there is now, but the thing is, as Mike has said it, but it's always been my catchphrase forever.
It's Greg's one. It's I know what you're going. I think it's his. But go on.
Is it his?
When the shovel breaks the ground or
No,
the
steel goes
when
up.
the steel goes up,
Yeah.
then I'll start thinking about it. But until that happens, we've seen too many projects.
Originally, DCA was sold to Westcott. We
That
had
was an
all the
awesome project.
Yeah.
all the paperwork. They went to the city. We had all the promotional stuff,
That was awesome.
and it looked pretty detailed. Not a lot of swirlies and those. And I'll get into that because that happens to touch on my business, and I know a lot about rendering and lying. Now, renderers lie in the renderings, in the art.
What, renderers are politicians?
No, I'll give reasons why. But, and then we ended up working with Westcott, and everybody said, I'll believe it when I start seeing it built. I said, no, I'll believe it when I see a new place to park.
That's right.
One of the mantras of one of my early instructors years ago when I first took architecture class, there's a thing that says form follows function. That's you've all heard that.
Yeah.
And he modified it to form follows parking. Because if you can't park it, you can't build it.
It's true.
So, anyways, Monsters Inc. This actually looks pretty cool. The artwork looks really good. Could be somewhere in Florida.
Yes, in the studios.
I believe they gave that much information, right?
If you look at the artwork, the old Muppet Vision Theater's in the background.
Yes. See now, all the bloggers.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's a previous picture.
Now
No,
that looks like a pretty cool.
No,
one.
there's
That one. There's a
No.
Muppet Theater right there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can see the Muppet.
Now, all of the supposedly in the know influencers who have solved all these problems for us are all telling us it's replacing Muppet Vision. Now, one might say, but there's some very successful restaurants back in that area.
Yes.
Now, I tried the Italian restaurant in the back corner.
Mama Causes, right? Is that the name?
I
Mama
don't-
Causes. We have to look it up.
I was not impressed.
I think
at
I've eaten it. Is that the one with the snowman out front, right?
I think so. Well, at certain times of the year, right? It's basically a pizza joint with some pasta.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, is not much better than Pizza Planet over here. Or whatever.
Pizza.
And there's another pizza, isn't there a Pizza Planet there across from the Muppet Vision?
There is.
There is.
Now, I think those are the only two restaurants in here. It's probably been 10 years, maybe a little more, since I've been to Florida. So a lot of, Muppets has gone here. It's been gone for quite a long time.
Mama Melrose, that was what it's called.
Mama
Mama
Melrose.
Mama Causes was a Italian joint here in
That's
Anaheim.
down the street here. Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry.
Quite honestly, if Muppets went away, I
That's-
wouldn't give two shits.
Okay, so here.
But I think this project looks a lot bigger than where the Muppet Building sits. And the Muppet Building kind of sits with things surrounding it.
Yeah, it's got Galaxy's Edge in one end.
Yeah, I
Right.
should have pulled up the map. That's one thing about being at home. I've got all these maps saved, and I guess
Yeah,
I pulled one
it's
up.
tucked in between Star Tours.
Yeah.
You go down a bit, Muppets, the Italian place, and then right into Galaxy's Edge.
Personally, I'm thinking if you're looking right at Muppets and you were to do this, that's where
Pizza Planet is, and you go around the corner.
I think this is.
Oh, yes, because you're not ripping out Galaxy's Edge.
No. And then
And
pretty much
you
with
don't
the rest
know
of
that.
The rest of the backlog is all pretty much fucked up
And
anyways.
I'll tell you what, you talk about you don't care about Muppets big enough now, right?
I really don't.
It's wasted. It's a wasted IP. It is a wasted. They bought it, right?
It's almost like they bought it to shelf it.
Well, I made a few things after, but you know what? It's wasted, and it's fun. It's fun and funny.
Yeah,
Right,
I liked it.
See, I've never been a big Muppets. I watched the show that was on prime time when we were
The Muppet
Teenagers?
Show.
Yeah,
teenagers.
Yeah.
It was okay. I've never been a Sesame Street fan.
If you go back and watch it now, you're gonna see all the jokes that went over your head
Yes.
because all of
Sure, maybe. But remember, we've traveled with people that carried their beaker around, whatever their little animal from the series. Those, I don't like that. I don't. It just, I've never enjoyed it. I think it's past its prime at Disney. But I think this project looks far too big. But I'm actually kind of excited. I think a Monsters Inc. would be kind of cool. Though, I'm of the fact now, or the fact, I'm of the opinion, you just need a Pixar park. You need a park that's kind of dedicated to this IP, because there's so much of it. There's some interesting universes. A Monsters whole land with all the monster type characters that could be on the street doing things is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think
And I think this roller coaster, first suspended roller coaster they're talking about, I don't know why you get all excited about that, but it looks, you know what this looks like to
That
me,
looks
though?
like fun.
This looks like they've taken what we have here and just hung a roller coaster in it.
there's another
Artwork.
blog entry
Yeah.
that has a mock-up of the ride system. Have you seen it?
No.
All right, it's in there somewhere if you dig to the
Okay.
park blog. But if you look at the message I sent you,
Sure. Well, I sent you some too, because there's some other yahoos talking about this stuff. But actually, I think this is good. I think what the morons are, where they're coming to a conclusion of where it's going to go, I think one is short-sighted. A lot of this comes from people who don't know crap. Now I follow these two girls. I think they go on mouse lifts or something like
I've seen
that.
them.
At first I thought they were like girlfriends.
No,
I
they're
think they're
sisters.
sisters, yeah.
I think I've seen them on TikTok.
You might have.
Might have
One
seen
of them's a
them on
civil engineer, and I responded to her once. Oh, where do you practice? You know, I'm in architecture. Never got a response from her. But
Because there's a small voice and all their fans that they doesn't quite bubble to the top.
And quite honestly, they're part of a group of people. We have some in our listenership that I've personally asked, do you go anywhere else but Disney? Oh, no, I only got limited. And the guy that told me this, you know, if you listen to me, remember this, I've only got limited time off. And I want to go to Disney. I'm thinking, there's so much more out there in this country, let alone this world, to see that not every trip has to be to Disney. Now, some people say, well, it's easy for you to say, you live like, you know, a couple blocks away or something.
We come here all the time.
But, you know, I don't anymore. Quite honestly, Disney's driven me away in a little bit, but my
I feel like
wife,
I'm here every day.
my wife has pass. She's buying me one. She likes, we came in, ate, and left the other day. And this thing of yours about, oh, you know, people still have to make reservations. They stay all day now. I see a lot of it going in and out.
I don't see that as that cocky of a theory. You see evidence of it all the time. There is no slow season in Disneyland anymore, right? And the crowd flow is kind of flipped on its head. The times it used to be slow are busy, and the times it used to be busy are slow. We're here on a summer afternoon.
It's not overly busy.
It's not.
But, and I will say this, I arrived an hour before you guys. We were all going to come together on Richard's sign-in by Lake Frick. I got my own pass. I was able to come a little early.
Use the shit out of it.
Got to use this shit to make it pay off. Here's what happened to me. I walked in, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take the train around. Closed. Summer day. I'm going to go in and see Lincoln. Closed.
Wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go over Wright Space Mountain. Closed. I'm going to take the monorail around. Closed.
Do you think, are they putting in Ghost Galaxy? Is it down for overlay installation? Space Mountain closed on a summer day, just kind of, that's weird.
Yes, and with construction walls. So I don't know, do they put construction walls up for just changing the overlay?
No, because it's a 2-day operation.
Plus, I took a picture of something called a Starcade. Do you know what that is? There's a sign that says Starcade.
It's a big empty room that the last couple of times I've seen some merchandise being stored in there, but that's about all there is.
But you know what came to
You know what I
mind?
think of the Starcade?
What?
I think of the sound of air hockey.
Yes.
Click, clack, clack, click, clack, clack.
Now let me ask you a blast from the past. Before we had the monstrosity called Astral Orbiter, we had an attraction up over the people. What was it called?
Rocket jets.
Put those words separate and tell me how they go back together.
Rocket jets.
Yes.
And what was up there
Rocket jets.
represented are not jets.
They're just rockets.
They're rockets.
Yeah.
I realize we've got rocket-assisted jets. We have the X-15. We got some things that might be considered kind of rocket jets. But
during that same
so
period.
your problem is Disney misnamed them, called them rocket jets.
it just hit me after all these years that I'm not sure that was the right term.
Oh,
it rolls off the tongue well.
But wait a second.
Right?
At that same period, there was something over in the Magic Kingdom. What was it called?
I can't remember if theirs was called the same thing or not, but theirs looked like, you know what theirs looked like?
They look like the lifting bodies.
Like the Steve Austin.
Steve Austin lifting body.
And it was called the Astrojets.
Astrojets. Yes, see, that works a lot better.
Steve Austin
But
lifting
wait,
okay.
how do you have jets that are Astro?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
All right. We've got a show starting up here behind us.
You watch Stormtroopers, but back to Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
So you're okay with it?
I think it would be a great addition. And this park already has a lot of Pixar, right? They've got,
Well, why not? Why not more?
Why not?
Right? That's early success anyway.
Why don't you turn it? Well, they got that stupid. I'm sorry. I've been told that if I had to ride the Runaway Railroad, I would understand and you'd like it. I've ridden it, and I think it's a piece of garbage.
You don't like Runaway Railway?
No, I think
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Is it you don't like the attraction, or you don't like the animation that's used in the attraction?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. Here's my point. You know how we went through that phase of everything's a
Retro. Yeah.
well, no, not retro. We've talked about this with Universal too. We used to have this giant animated monkey. Now it's just a 3D projection. And we went, Pirates in Shanghai.
Yes.
A lot of
projections.
All we've done now, mapping projections have replaced cool lighting on the castles,
Yes.
things like that. All this is, in fact, I would almost guess it's the same layout as the
Ratatouille?
no. Well, it could be, or the
It is?
Beauty,
I know it isn't.
or the Beauty and the Beast, because there's that dancing sequence.
I haven't done the Beauty and the Beast
Me
attraction,
either.
but it's not the same as Ratatouille. I know that.
But that whole dance sequence reminds me of what I've seen in the videos of.
Well, even Luigi, right? That's the same kind of concept.
We finally wrote that for the first time.
What do you think?
I won't do it. It's not that it's not fun, but it's definitely not worth the wait. I'd rather ride Mater all day because I love his sayings.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you heard the Dadgum song yet?
Yes.
Dadgum, something Dadgum.
It's just so abstruse and absurd.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes.
All
right. So you're okay with Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
You're okay.
absolutely. But I think where people are saying it's going to go is wrong. It might be in the general area, but I don't know that it's going to take. Let's put it this way: if Muppets leaves, I don't give two rats shit about it. But I don't think this is what's replacing it. Now,
That's Rizzo, by the way.
if it goes away, let's say that building goes away. It's not going away because this ride's going to go in it, because I think this ride's too big to go in that building.
Oh yeah.
But that building might go away. The attraction might go away because of this, but it's not going in that spot.
Do you know what's behind it?
I need to look that map.
Parking lot.
Yep, there you go.
Parking lot is behind it, so they can push Monsters Inc. out into a parking lot.
Oh, yeah, easy.
So I'm going to look at the map.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so next Florida thing. The complete.
No. I want to say that for the last.
No, I know which one you want to save for. I'm not going there.
Oh, okay.
I'm going somewhere else.
Okay.
The complete erasure of Dinoland.
Yeah.
Dinoland's going to get memory hold and become Encanto.
I have. Well, no, not entirely.
It's supposed to be tropical America.
Yeah, tropical. Yeah, I know Indy's in there.
Yeah.
A whole brand new Indy.
Yeah, brand new Indy. Same attractions,
same ride.
but new adventures.
Whatever.
It's probably more south of the border.
No,
themed.
it's gonna be Crystal Skull themed is what it's gonna be because that took place in South America.
Could be.
Good.
Could be. I won't argue.
So did the
I won't
opening
argue
of Raiders.
for it. I won't argue against it.
That's true.
What you say?
So
The
the
opening
opening
of
of
Raiders.
Raiders took place in South America.
Yeah.
The Jovitos.
I'm trying to
But
find
if only
that
you
part.
spoke Fujitos.
It's on there. Okay, now we're getting close. Okay. I love Coco. I thought it.
That's not Coco.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm getting into these Pixar movies. I love Coco. Coco grabbed me just like that. Enchanto.
Encanto.
I've heard it both ways, and I don't get too fussed.
Okay, Encanto's Disney. Coco's Pixar.
how much different really are they? The paychecks come from the same place. I know, yes. Two different groups of animators.
And storytellers.
And storytellers.
Richard would agree with me on this. He's got some outside knowledge. Script writing has some rules, go-bys, hooks, times when things are supposed to happen.
Yes.
I might be 20 minutes into Encanto, if that's what it's called, not Enchanto.
Encanto.
It hasn't hooked me yet. I still haven't figured out what the hook and all that. It's boring. My wife likes it, my daughter likes it.
All the exposition she has to talk.
There's been a bunch of singing.
What they show, yeah, I know.
But
Just don't talk about Bruno.
story-wise.
And that comes an hour in.
Yeah, story-wise, it is not.
And you know how that got legs? TikTok you got legs.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: it's not blowing my kilter.
Well, that's good.
I'm grateful
We don't
for
wanna be
that.
around.
No,
Yeah.
no.
But you know what I'm saying? I don't know how it got such a following.
Coco, visually, holy smokes.
I go back. Okay, David Dirks. We all know David. He's an animator. He worked at with Disney. All I could talk about with him was the color palette on that film.
Yeah.
It was just freaking amazing.
Yes.
And I have yet to see the dude in person here, the bad guy that sings over in DCA. The one that steals the song.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great looking suit. I've seen it in video.
Yeah, I've seen.
I want to see
him
it in
there
person.
by.
I've seen the kid that walks in.
Cookie Sky School back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, so
And I've seen the kid too over there.
Coco himself.
Coco himself. Yeah.
What? A young shovel?
There it is. Man, I couldn't find the part.
No touchy.
Going this way.
Yeah, you like my mom. I smacked her hand. I was like, get it out of my
This way.
face.
No, the wrong way. Push it up towards
Well, there's the entry.
Yeah. I can tell you, I've already.
Well, right here is.
This is the parking lot.
Yeah,
that they
I
can
know.
expand into because it's right there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. This is the area we're talking about.
Yeah, because that's Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah, that's Star Wars right there.
Yeah, and there's Pizza
Or Star
Planet.
Tours.
There's Pizza Planet
Yeah, there's
and Mama
Muppet.
Melrose, right?
Yeah.
So if they're gonna make this Monsters Inc., they can push right into
Well,
there.
I really do think this building just goes, and maybe that restaurant, maybe that whole Mama Road, everything's gone back there, but I think it pushes this way. I think it has to.
Well, I do remember.
So you know this is
What?
they're like the two stupid stormtroopers from Mandalorian. They're just full on just bullshit about those
So
stuff.
basically, they're a rip-off of Red versus Blue.
Latest rumor. Oh, this comes from the Esquire.
Do you remember the old Red versus Blue, where the two guys, Halo, but these two guys like this just stand, and all they do is comment like, "You go get it. It's your turn." No, I don't want to. It's your time to kill it.
It's almost like a Monty Python skit.
Yeah, but long before this. But what does the Esquire have to say?
Latest rumors maybe the offices behind Animation Courtyard are being vacated for monsters. So that's the other side.
I've heard that, and people, this one influencer was talking about where it lets out into a courtyard, what's in that courtyard.
Voyage of the Little Mermaid.
Yes, yeah, because they announced it's coming back.
Disney Junior Playhouse is on the other side of that.
Because I guess it's been closed.
And in
for
the
a
back
while.
side of that is a Star Wars launch bay kind of a thing. It's the three sides of that courtyard.
I mean, you've got this big plant grove, tree grove over here too, behind. What is that behind? Your animation. Maybe that's the area he's talking about back in here.
We haven't said much about Monsters Inc. Either taking over the Muppets area or getting its own place.
I think it's going to have its own place.
You don't think they'll take that?
I don't think they're going to take out Muppets. The reason I say
Should
that
we
is
write this
because
down? Right.
no, I'm just
It's being recorded.
yeah. There you go.
What's the over under?
There's been several times where there was always talk about getting rid of Muppets, and
Well, we got rid of it here.
Just when they got really serious and they started closing things down, people get up in arms and have all their letter writing up. Okay, we'll keep it because, quite honestly, there was nothing planned for what to do with it afterwards.
Well, yeah, when you don't have a replacement,
Let it rot.
So,
with few exceptions, they let it ride. Yeah.
so yeah, this was the one exception that they actually changed out Muppets, but Muppets is still in there, It's just they've been using it for other things, mostly for
Magic stuff.
Doesn't seem so weird on a smaller
It doesn't
screen.
play in there.
yeah, it doesn't play well in there.
I've seen it. It was nice to see it again, but it was like watching Circle Vision.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean,
Which screen do they pick the
Yeah.
cartoon next? You know?
yeah, but I mean, you still got the Swedish chef up on the wall and everything else ready to go for whatever you want to do with it.
That's a
train.
Yes, it is. Sorry.
I get what you
but-
mean, and it doesn't cost much to operate.
And yeah, it doesn't.
3 cast members
Maybe.
on the movie turns on and off.
But the thing is, I think
You gotta get a
The
spiel if you
idea-
want to leave. Go this way.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
think the idea of building into the parking lot, everything. The pictures show Muppet Vision still existing with monsters being there. I think they're going to add to it rather than get rid of it.
Now, it might sacrifice the Pizza Hut or the Pizza Planet restaurant, which I don't think would be any great loss.
Just gets rethemed to something monsters.
Yeah,
Well,
and even
well-
then, you can still keep a Pizza Planet because we have the little green men Pizza
Yes,
Planet here.
You know, I don't to get. I don't know. I think you got to get to here. You got to get through there. I think whatever. Well, Mama Roses. Maybe all those back things do go. These shops right here in the middle.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think the parking lot is.
Because the artwork shows
Yeah.
it's Muppets, not
Yeah.
animation.
So back to Enchanto.
Are you saying that wrong on
Now
purpose?
this
aren't
time
you?
I did. I'll miss dinosaurs,
Yeah.
but I experienced
Let's
it.
get that dino.
Yeah.
Go get
And
him.
I personally thought it was an okay attraction.
You had a good jump scare in it.
Did it?
Yes. Because if they take your
Did
picture,
it scare you?
it's a jump scare. You startled.
Startled, maybe.
Okay. But every ride photo, everyone's like going like this because they get startled, right?
Or if you're John Dubb, you got the map open or something. You know. I don't know. I expect. I've said this a lot. I maybe expected more. I definitely expected more from Tower of Terror because somebody here told me the ride took you down the hallways of the
Fifth Dimension.
hotel.
Yeah. Fifth Dimension.
Oh, here or there?
No, there. He says, yeah, you go down the hallways
Well,
of the
you
hotel.
go from the one part of the place
You
to
go
the other
you go
side
the
of
up
place.
shaft. You go through the fifth dimension.
Which is worthless.
And then you go.
It's creepy.
And then you go into the falling
You know what I find that to be? Lit lucite. Cut out.
Lucite. Well, you know,
it's lit up cutouts.
It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has
still
to be effective.
Still creepy.
I think
It is creepy. I found it
Okay.
creepy the first time when I went through.
This guy gets creeped out over that arachnid movie or whatever with spiders.
Hey, arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
With good reason too.
Have you
It's a
seen?
movie.
Have you seen that one with? What's his name? The comedian plays the astronaut by himself on the spaceship and the alien
Edward Norton?
spider.
No, not that.
I'll have to look up. It's on Netflix. And it's like it just kind of creeps me out every time I
I
watch
was
it.
thinking of Moon where he's there by himself.
No,
Figured
this-
out at the end he's been replicated like who knows how many
Um,
times. You ever seen that?
No.
Oh, it was made like a short, limited run, I'm sure, to get in for Oscars.
Sam Rockwell's in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one guy. And the whole, I enjoyed it, but it's a mind fuck movie.
It is.
It's anyways, back. So having that whole land be,
Encanto.
well, I don't think
With
it's
one Indiana Jones in the
well,
corner.
Well, I don't think it's Encanto.
It is.
Well, there's an Encanto ride.
Look at the artwork. Look at the artwork.
Yeah, but how does
It's all. It all talks about stuff from Encanto, right? The Madrigal family.
That would be there.
Their
Space Smile.
the Madrigal family has their hacienda up there. It's supposed to be the biggest restaurant in Walt Disney World now.
Really?
Now they're having the carousel, which you look at as the same footprint as the freaking flying Triceratops.
Okay. I have family. I hope this doesn't sound racist.
It is.
Florida doesn't know how to make Mexican food. I'm sorry.
Well,
And if
because-
this is going to be
Because it's a Cuban
sure,
influence, right?
sure.
And you got
but
more of a
Encanto-
southern influence when you actually have Mexican.
Encanto is
Colombian.
Colombia, so there'll be more. Hopefully they get that right.
Well,
Though I will pull back a little bit. The pyramid has decent food. I like that restaurant. The Mexican pyramid at Epcot.
Oh, that's got really good Mexican.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you should know too. You've got a Mexican wife. You know what Mexican food's like, or is she too American? You know.
Her grandmother used to make some really good stuff.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so Monsters Inc. land.
It's a tropical.
I don't know why they would
American
list that as Monsters Inc.
land.
Well, maybe like. Who knows?
Monstropolis.
That's probably what they should call it.
Well, yeah. Well, I wonder if Muppets could exit, but it's just whatever's in there is rethemed to something. Okay, Coco.
Tropical Americas.
Oh,
Tropical Americas. Right there in the middle. There you go.
Tropical. Let's look at that.
So if you zoom in on that artwork, there's Indy down there. It's a dinosaur.
Sure.
So you come out, there's the Donald Duck restaurant, right? The shops.
Where's McDonald's?
Here.
Is that right there?
Yeah.
And this is new.
Yeah, but that's where the Triceratops bin is right now.
Okay.
If you can see the footprint.
Wait.
And this is the back door out towards.
Maybe Encanto Land needs a cigar lounge. Yes, it does.
Really?
No,
They're gonna start smoking. Who's this? Oh, that's Matt.
But wait. Is this where you come right now? Where you come into Dino Land, where you could dig for the dinosaurs? That's right here?
No, that's this one.
That's this
here.
one.
So this is from Himalayas. From
this area is where all the cheap carny rides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's probably the footprint of the Wild Mouse roller coaster.
Yeah.
The restrooms and the gift shop here.
Sure. I got it.
And the bone digging place is over here.
Yeah.
My kids play all the time.
I don't know. I would prefer just calling it South America, but this area, what's right now that part is kind of it. You got Asia, you've got Minor, you've got Africa. I know.
Minor.
Asia Minor.
Oh.
No, you've got but you've got the.
It's like Ursa Minor, Ursa Major.
Avatar Land doesn't exactly fit in that part either. How do you put Pandora in there?
No.
You know.
It's okay.
You got to put your deals somewhere, I guess, right? You make a deal, you want some property.
It's pretty back there.
I haven't seen it yet. I know Vincent was very upset because he couldn't get. They didn't tell him until they ride checked him or fat checked him or whatever. And he's not that big of a kid, but whatever the flight ride or whatever, couldn't ride it. He waited like 2 hours and then they said you can't ride it. Couldn't close the
Because
thing on
the
him.
thing it's got to take the.
Is it like Tron? You lean?
It's not. I don't think you lean over so much, but you do lean forward, and because you're riding something, the back comes up like Pony Express. Nice.
Okay. Have you?
Clicks in. All right.
I don't want to laugh, but I am sort of laughing. I've seen now like 3 or 4 different people on Instagram.
Can't ride Tron.
No, they're fat checkers. They go on rides as a fat person to see what you can and can't ride.
Good job if you can get it.
Well, they're making it their job. I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess
MiceCast, only when we're needed.
Yeah. My only problem with this area would be calling it Encanto Land or what?
Tropical America.
Tropical America.
Okay, who called it Encanto Land here a few seconds ago? I didn't call it Encanto Land.
I didn't call it Encanto Land.
No, we were
I just
calling
said
it
the whole
Tropical
thing was
America.
themed off.
90% of it.
Except for Jones.
Aside from Indy, it's all Encanto. If you actually read some of the words here,
Read words? What am I doing?
What's that?
It's not research. I know we don't do research.
Thought this was Fahrenheit
We just look at-
451.
It
Just look
looks,
at pictures.
I mean,
We just look at the pictures.
actually, I think it looks fantastic. It's good artwork, good rendering.
I think most of this is vaporware.
Really?
I would agree.
actually think, look, if we were to back up,
Until the steel goes up.
sure, until we, well, no, it's rare that I've seen concrete go down where they haven't finished vertically. So if they start breaking land, pouring concrete, we're probably pretty sure it's going to happen. It seems like a lot to bite off at this point, They're making, it's like we want to have this convention, we want everybody to clap and cheer and pat us on the back and make us feel good.
Yes.
We're losing money right now, our stocks are in the shitter. Elon Musk might buy us if we do too much more shitting on ourselves.
How awesome would that be?
I would love to see what would happen.
That would be so
It would-
fun.
I would light a few cigars with the Esquire and just sit back and watch.
You see that Jerry Seinfeld meme where he's putting the popcorn? That's a shame.
Yeah. I had once a guy describe to me the, that's wonderful for my stops. Laguna
Is that just
Beach.
today?
That's today's
Holy
closing.
shit! It was down to $88.
Yeah.
Laguna Beach is a city not far from me, and I've done some work in that city. The girl that plays Jan on the Brady Bunch, for those old enough to remember that show, I don't know if she's,
Eve Plum.
yeah, I don't know if she's still on the design committee, design review committee, but she was at one point. She wanted this city to be just a town of artists, bungalows, and stuff like
Which
that.
town?
Laguna Beach.
Oh, okay.
Now, Laguna Beach has already got some McMansions and large things in the hills. But one...
For those that haven't burnt down already.
One architect came to one of our CAD meetings once. He says, I'd like to go and just take popcorn and watch the excitement. Because the crap and shit people get into. We had a project that we never broke ground on when I left the office. But we were getting calls or the city was getting calls every day about the construction noise and the dust. Nothing had happened yet. The house was still there. We hadn't torn it down yet. And he talked about he was going to lose his views. The only view he had of the beach, if he was standing on his toilet, cranking his neck around the little tiny window and looking out. That was his only view, but we were blocking it somehow.
Oh my gosh.
And they're, these, Karen's kins, whatever you want to call them. Karen hates that. I don't know about his that.
Matt gives us feedback. He says that says Epic Universe looks too good and Disney is scared, and that's probably why they're giving the rah.
That's what my daughter was saying
I
last night
think
too.
Matt's onto something. I've seen a lot of influencers saying the same thing.
Back in the day, if we started now, we'd be called influencers.
Well, when we get to our park, I'm going to list all the changes that I have forced upon this company, either by our podcasting
Okay, all right.
or by my ideas that I submitted that they turned down but later implemented.
All right.
And Richard can go in with some of his, and I'm sure he knows he's influenced.
All right, so before, is there anything else Florida you want to talk about? Because I have a Lion King rides in France.
But can we quickly we'll make it quick. I'm sorry, it looks like Splash.
It does, doesn't it?
With, I've already seen people. Is the flume, the hill?
You're falling down, Mufasa down, yeah.
Mufasa's falling off the cliff, yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh wait,
Florida,
there's also that scene where
Simba.
Simba
Simba
was
the white
being
lion.
Simba's being chased by the hyenas and falls into the thorn bushes, just like when you're in the briar patch here at Splash.
I would guess, I would put my money, so much for the clear airspace.
It's a police helicopter.
Yeah. I would guess that
SOC sheriffs.
anything that's announced for the overseas parks will happen.
Yes, because it's not Disney money.
Well, one park is at least half their money.
Yeah.
But anything those parks are going to get or have been announced, they're going to get. I think that'll happen fairly quickly.
Coco Ride's coming here, I'm pretty sure.
It is, DCA.
And Avatar's coming here. Okay, so
into our park?
No, hang on, before. So if you had to sign, knowing Disney's penchant for vaporware, Mary Poppins ride, poof.
Yeah.
Double decker at Epcot, poof.
Well, double decker what?
They were building an elevated garden where the Fountain of Nations was.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Poof.
Well, if you want to get there, pretty much,
The only thing,
I guess the early drawings of the whole Communicore redo looks nothing like.
The only thing that they announced for Epcot's makeover that happened was that water journey walkthrough thing from Moana, where the water jumps over your gate. It's the only thing that made it. Everything else, poof, poof, poof. Right?
Where's that at for Moana?
It's between seas and land, I think.
Okay, so we just moved the leapfrog fountains from one spot
From
to a new spot.
imagination.
Yeah.
From
Yeah, but it's a little more detailed.
It's more, and it's like a walk-through path. The water jumps over you.
And I guess the
let's-
meandering mouse, I posted something once. He said, "You actually remember that?" It was the fountains. They were backwards.
Yes.
The waterfall shot up. Yeah.
Yes,
up,
it wasn't. It was water lifts. What? They had a name for it at the time. I can't remember.
And Switzerland. I remember a whole big, huge deal that they were going to get a Swiss pavilion with a Matterhorn. They were going to finally build a Matterhorn
Yeah, that was
attraction.
a long.
But either
Oh,
way,
still.
so all right, so we know.
Different regime too.
So we know that Disney has, they'll announce shit at D23. Everybody gets all excited.
They're gaslighting us.
Not gaslighting, but it just goes away, and never to be heard from again. The whole fancy 4-star hotel here that Anaheim shot down. Ooh.
There's so much more to that back.
Yeah, I know.
story
But if you had to put odds
on these?
On these three things. Oh, we haven't talked about the big one yet that's over there.
Well, we're still over there, so what?
There's one more big one over there we haven't touched on
What's
yet.
the big one?
Oh, yes, we need to do that now.
Okay.
That would be the next one.
Okay, so then we'll do the odds after we talk about that, because there's a big one that's pissed a lot of people off.
Well,
It's
that's
not listed there, is it?
no, that's the one that I responded online. Some girl
Influencer, yeah.
did an overlay of the artwork and placed it over Tom Sawyer's Island in the river.
Yes.
For this Cars Land.
Yes.
Just call it Cars Land. Make it
Well,
easy.
Frontier Cars Land, yes.
I initially had a problem with that, and I kind of still have, but fine, whatever. And I'm like, wait, how do you know this? Because at that point when she did this overlay, it had not been confirmed that's where it was going.
If you look at the artwork, you can fully see where it is in relationship to.
Yes and no. And the name was, what was it called? Frontierland Forward or Beyond Frontierland was one of the early names. And I kept saying, well, isn't it in the name? Because there's all this talk about expanding beyond. I can't call it the berm because they don't have a
No,
berm.
behind Big Thunder.
Yeah.
There's a whole plot of land back there.
You
Yes.
just got to get there somehow.
Well, they can solve that problem all the time.
Yeah, but it's a little different when you've got a canal. Right, you got to get under and over railroad. But it can be
move
done.
it around.
Anything can be done. Like I'll tell you later about an idea I had that was behind the Frontierland train station. People say you can't do it. There's children. So you
Move 'em.
Move them, yeah.
Which we did.
Okay, so
So, in case people should pick up by now, we're talking about
the Cars Land.
in Magic Kingdom, where the artwork shows that the river comes out, Tom Sawyer's Island comes out, and they build this freaking non-theme matching Frontierland. Cars,
Road track.
Because it's got freaking snowy mountains in it,
So
right? Snowy mountains.
let's just talk about the attraction.
What?
Who would at this table want to?
Two attractions, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like a mater,
Yeah.
kid, and then the full-on e-ticket.
So who at this table would argue hard that it's just not going to be the same test track, Cars Land track, just rethemed yet again?
Oh, that's gonna be the same ride.
Well, no, the same. So John Dubb is one that's really good, and I'm usually good for spatial awareness, knowing like that's there. Take two steps. There have been people that say, like Dinosaur to Indy, same exact track.
Yes.
That test track and Radiator Racers, same. They don't have the up down, but they have the big, the big curl at the end. But in ours, it might be a little shorter, but the general layout.
The test track is a 9270, right? We do a 90-degree turn, then a 270-degree turn to come back down the same way you came, right? The track's like this, and then you have a 9270 to come back. There is no 9270. It's more of a.
So the end's a little different, but is the rest the same?
I don't think so.
You come out.
To me, it looks very different from what we have sitting
I don't
here.
think so.
I thought it was different.
And
but
to me,
All right,
test track
come on.
looks very
sometimes I
different
get a little
from
messed up when it's dark. In the daytime, I can.
We can step through it. Test track, you get in, you go forward, you go around the corner, pull on the other thing. First thing you do is go up a hill.
Yeah, you do.
You go up a big hill,
Yeah.
and then you go down the hill.
For us, we pull it, we wind
Go
down,
around.
take long.
Yeah, you get the big music
Okay.
hit as you.
All right.
It's not the same.
All right. So I have this whole like we're off-roading cars here for some going through mud and all that. Just that alone seems somewhat of a challenge for ride systems. It's going to have to, if it's the same ride system, seems a challenge. But you work through challenges.
Yeah. Well,
My biggest problem when I looked at that artwork, first thing I said is, where's the mansion? You can't see the mansion.
Mansion's in the-
I know they're not getting rid of the mansion.
no.
And the artwork shows what might be the peak of
Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
no. Well, yes, it's
Yes.
in the background. I'm talking more when you come in through Liberty Square. Because my first question is, where's Liberty Square? You barely saw a peak of the Hall of Presidents.
Yes. Yes.
So then I'm looking.
But you can see full on Frontierland, the backside.
Yeah. Let's think about your sight line. You're standing looking. What do you see when you look into Liberty Square right now? You pick up on the dock a little?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of a weenie in a way to pull you in there?
Maybe.
Now, not every land's got a weenie.
No.
Some weenies are better than other weenies. You know?
If you insist.
That's your
That's
opinion.
your-
I have no
yeah.
opinion
Some
whatsoever.
are sausages, some are those little tiny
Vienna sausages, and some of those big Polish sausages.
Okay, whatever.
But you do feel like you're going into an area that's, you know, fully engulfed in the theme, if you will.
Yes.
But this looks like you walk in and look at the backside of a mountain or something.
Yes.
And then you walk through a corridor over to the Frontierland we know now, with mountains to one side.
Yes.
And you're like walking. I'm trying to think if there's anything out here I can compare it to, but
Well, here, let's stop and think about, I'm going to use a strong word here, the stupidity of pulling out a water source that helps with cooling, that helps leave open paths for air to move.
I don't know. What I see is a mosquito nesting ground and a humidity rising.
No, okay.
Gunk of water.
In the summer, maybe, but water is important for.
No, I don't disagree.
You know,
I just had to throw that in there.
But you fill it with dirt and put it. Now there's no wind through there. I mean,
Well, you know, we've had
Yeah, you're
arguments
putting
here.
mountains in that's going to even block your.
We've had arguments here about not having Cascade Peaks to help irrigate.
Yeah.
They don't have Cascade Peak there to irrigate, but they do have outside sources of water that.
Yeah, that was a
connect.
total disaster when they got rid of those waterfalls.
But okay, and I've already seen people saying, you know, Walt Disney said Disneyland will never be finished.
Fine.
You know? Okay, no.
Fine.
No, put on the brakes right away. And I'm going to play both sides a little bit. It ain't fucking Disneyland.
No.
It's Walt Disney World. It's a whole different park.
Yes.
Walt never got to see this park.
Correct.
Oh, Walt Disney designed
No.
the island all by himself.
We've always had the position that it's not a museum.
Yes. Well, what I'm going to say is, even his supposedly personal design of this island here, I take with a little grain of salt. Because, you know, when Herb Ryman made the first, you know, drawing, with Walt supposedly looking over his shoulder, do this, okay, that's a concept. That's not, it's a little bit of a design, but because I'm in the field, I kind of get a little ticky-tacky with it. I can tell my designer, give me something like this. He gives me something, but then I have to make it work. I have to finish the concept. And I think the same thing can be said about Tom Sawyer design. You get a concept, he might have sketched out, give me a dock here, but someone else got down to the actual.
Well, when you get the nitty gritty, yeah, that's absolute that it has to be done that way because you as an architect know there are certain things that you have to follow that are not even so much code, but just common sense on how you have to be able to do traffic flow.
Really design, because then you might blame him for,
Well,
you designed the river wrong, you dumb hick, because you had it going in the wrong direction with port on the starboard side.
You had to have an admiral come in and fix that for you.
You do know this story, right?
Port side, starboard side.
The ships were supposed to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, and if you think about it, you instantly hit into the wilderness, and you slowly come up into civilization until you're back into port.
Well,
that's the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, but you hit the Indians, you see the Indians, then you see the results of the Indians with the attack of the cabin, and then you make it back to civilization.
As it is, it's the reverse, that you're leaving civilization, you see the attack of the cabin, and then you come up to the Indians.
Plus, if you go on the island, you should be walking Injun Joe's cave backwards. That's the way it should have been.
That's the way. And the other thing is if you do walk through it backwards, you're going to see the thing that they used in Goonies, because right as you go in and you got that big, large cave that has the little one to the left and the little one and the large one to the right. It's a skull. You got the two eye sockets here and everything, and it's perfect. But when you're coming in the direction they have you traveling now, you never see it.
Okay, so let's get back to the...
Okay, so back and forth.
Yeah.
The whole river in the island, that is a big chunk of ground.
It is.
That's...
The Mandarin guy asked me, I showed him a picture I got. I'd written up in...
If I had Google Earth here, I'd draw an area.
I I was on the wheel. We went up and asked if I could ride the wheelhouse. They let me. Took some great pictures. Said, "Where's that at?" I said, "Never ridden." It's not Mark Twain over there. It's the
Liberty Bell.
Liberty Bell. It didn't used to be the Liberty Bell, but that's what it is now. If I were to compare the two from here to there and how much traffic I see on the island here to there, I would say it's far less used in Florida than it is here.
Personally, right? That it's only the DFs, right? People that get up in arms about change. They're the ones who are going to miss it. Most people aren't going to miss it because no one goes out there anyway.
Nobody really knows about it.
You use the, what do we call it? Like you say nobody rides poo. What is it when you
people ride poo all the time.
When you use an extreme example, hyperbole, because you told me, oh, nobody rides on poo. That's hyperbole because people do ride it, or it wouldn't be open.
Correct.
But people do. I've been on the island in Florida. It doesn't have the impact it does here, but it is fairly well traveled. And I think it was more traveled, and you could also eat out there because I haven't seen that.
Oh
that
the restaurant that was right there, right across from the
I think it was like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
but it was just you enjoyed the whole.
Because you had a dock, a place to sit on the water and watch the water.
Yeah, it was very cool.
And one thing I've always mentioned when we were working on the island here, and people were always asking about what's so special about this, I always refer to the island, this is your cardboard box. And I go, Christmas morning you get these wonderful toys for your kids, and the toys sitting off to the side, the kids are playing with the cardboard box because they're using their imagination.
Yes.
The island is the same thing. You have these wonderful attractions are built, but the kids love coming to the island and using their imagination. And I always said, with your younger kids especially, this is a great place to let them burn off a lot of energy. They're not leaving the island. I mean, theoretically, I've had a few kids that did that, but they're on an island. You're going to catch up with them eventually, but they can burn a lot of energy off running,
Well, it's quite honestly
walking around because we don't run in Disneyland.
Quite honestly, it's a babysitter.
We don't run.
Yeah. People drop their kids off.
Yes.
People let their kids run off a lot of energy.
Here. But there,
I don't see that. I see it used. I see families go out there and they go through the caves and stuff like this. The last time I
always
walked
has.
because I've seen standing in line. People talking. You hear a lot now on the internet about people letting their kids take a shit.
Yes.
In Rise.
Yeah.
In other places.
What?
Seriously? Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Disneyland.
Yes.
And
China.
Now,
running over at the Haunted Mansion and taking a pee behind the grave.
I remember standing in line for the Haunted Mansion at the Magic Kingdom with my buddy, Mark. This lady lifts her kid up, and it's a high graveyard over there, right? Not far from the door.
It's about 4 feet up.
Lifts her kid up to have him go pee. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? What? Are we in a third world country?
Yes, we are. It's Florida.
All right.
Okay, real quick. Just question I had.
We have 5 people watching, by the way. I finally decided to check.
Question I have. The boat over in Florida, is it steam driven like Mark Twain is here?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, I don't remember seeing.
Look, you've got a computer in your hand. Look it up.
Not ignoring you guys, 5 of you that are watching things. I know one of them is mad, I'm pretty sure, because he keeps chiming in.
What's that? We're not looking at him?
No, I just,
You're not answering him? He's mad?
No.
Oh, I think you said one of them's mad.
Matt. One of them is Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Not one of them is angry.
But, you keep directing our...
Well, because this is
sure.
habit.
Sure.
Right? We have the face for radio.
Speak for yourself, though, buddy. The one thing that's always, in recent years that's bothered me about Florida's river is the lack of being able to ride at night. Now, as soon as Fantasmic screwed up our river as far as great show, lousy location. Because we used to be able to take night rides around the river, which was awesome.
Well, when the thing caught fire, you can start taking night rides again.
Yeah. But Florida, in the sense, I returned to Florida in 2015 from my previous earlier ones in the 80s. I've never seen it open at night. And I would ride a night one. So to me, that takes away when you close an attraction down. You know, the islands are always closed at night,
Yes.
but not the ride that goes around. You know?
No.
So I understand. I think the area could be used better. There's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of space. I'm not 100. Look, it's not the original park, and
So only because of that, you have no problem with him ripping
well,
out.
no, so based on this artist conception, I think it's a horrible design. Absolutely.
It doesn't fit anything there.
I'm going to agree with Mike that I think it's a horrible plot.
It's okay. Now, but this goes further. Have you seen the videos of the new Country Bear?
No.
No.
Gonna go woke.
I don't. This one might be woke light.
What they take out?
Well,
I
they
know we
changed.
can't call liver lips anymore.
They supposedly one the bears who had a bad history that made him, I don't know if it was like not a pervert, but might have been the fiddle one where he talked about women or something. But anyway, the songs are like all Disney songs.
What? They're not singing the standards anymore.
No. Oh, no.
Oh.
And plus, so their costumes are different. It really seems like New Kids on the Block. I mean, it's very, you know, there's something, the animators, the writers from the 60s and the 70s, and still had time with Walt, or with people that had worked with Walt.
How do you have?
It's the story writing, is the songs are,
So they don't play country music anymore?
it's country-esque maybe, it's Pixar songs, it's Disney songs.
What Pixar song? Give me an example.
I don't remember. See, this is how memorable.
Enchanto.
This is how unmemorable.
Yeah, no shit. So in the old days, you can rattle off the songs like Riders in the Sky, Blood on the Saddle.
The Christmas ones, you know, all of them.
But you think of
Have
the
a blue Christmas.
Yeah, you can think of the tunes.
Yeah, in what, Blood in the Saddle.
Yeah.
You know, Liver Lips and The Fat Guy were my two favorites.
Big Al.
Big Al.
Big Al.
But they, you know, they're all country standards.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, the
They got him a country boy. Don't they do
I
that?
think the woke stuff helped close what we know of its history, because some people consider ideals outdated by today, maybe. You know, the girl swinging, she's a call girl, right? Come on, she's having you want to come up to her room, right?
That's
she's
right.
a hooker.
She's talking to the
yeah.
but she's friends with the what's a
Henry.
Henry,
the MC,
yeah,
right?
she's
Yeah.
a lady of the night. But
Madam of the house.
I think it was done in such a light,
But wait.
way that I don't know.
Golden Horseshoe
Is it
Saloon
Slewfoot
and
Sue?
Slewfoot Sue.
Is the Slewfoot Sue, madam?
You know, you could, I don't know. If you want to spend your life going through all the old Disney movies and finding everything wrong with them, you can't watch out.
That's just it. But that's just it. I mean,
I went on Disney Plus to watch,
this goes kind of into that whole woke
was
territory
it
that
Blackbeard's
we have.
Ghost that gave me, one of them gave me a warning.
Oh, because he's smoking cigarettes.
Oh no, the ugly duckling. Stereotypes and this and that, you know, could not be appropriate for some kids. This is a fucking G movie.
Well, they did the same thing with Dumbo,
Hey.
But-
oh yeah.
and then they flat out cut out the crow scene altogether.
Okay. But I go into Blackbeard's Ghost, it's got smoking, ghosts, you might say supernatural, swearing, gambling. Nothing. Might have been a little tag on the top where they say like TV-14, but not the big card that comes up trying to explain how this might be culturally insensitive.
I love it when they do it.
You need to look up Country Bear. and
I will.
watch it.
I'm not gonna do it now.
I think it.
I'm gonna give our audience our
Yeah,
attention.
to me, it felt short. It felt very forced, like it didn't fit.
Well, that's
You know?
not a surprise.
Well, if it's all Pixar, then
I don't
that
think
stuff
it's
doesn't
a,
have.
I don't think it's 100% Pixar.
Well, I mean,
but
still,
recognize
any
it's
So,
Pixar
all right,
song.
so you think because of the Country Bear thing, the Frontier Cars Land is going to be?
I'm just saying this is an extension of bad moves they've already made in the area.
Okay, but why can't they put it behind Big Thunder?
There's no reason they can't. And who's to say this isn't putting dealers out.
Yeah, I had that thought too.
To see
See what kind of reaction they
Because
get.
wasn't it called Beyond Frontierland at first?
I don't know.
And if you put it if you put it behind Frontierland, you can have it interconnected with Fantasyland.
No.
The villains. land.
Villains is going to Fantasyland.
It's going kind of behind the mansion, to the side. And
Mansion and behind
Oh, okay.
Fantasyland, right?
So now, didn't they just extend
If we actually see Steel
a
going.
virtual queue interactive thing at the far end of the mansion queue? Isn't that down and towards the
I think
end?
they extended. I think it's
Because I thought I saw a picture where it looked like it was bigger down at the far end. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Well, it's a bullshit thing because the lines creep. Oh, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna play at this rock. It's like
I'm sorry, I just walked past.
It's like a marble structure,
Sure.
right? It's supposed to look like a piano, and you hit the keys and it makes music, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you stop messing with that, you're holding the line up.
No, I'm gonna walk past.
Keep
it.
going.
Yeah.
So, but there is something there.
It's like the interactive that they had over on Soarin' over at Epcot, where you're going through that big, huge, long corridor. Oh, but we have these interactive things
Yeah,
for
you
the kids
touch
to do.
it.
Well, you stop and you start doing that, the line goes past you. You can't
Seven
stop.
Dwarfs Mine Train, same
Yeah,
thing.
you can't stop
I
doing
see
it.
that. So, yeah, my biggest problem with this is they cut off. It's like you're walking a corridor to get around the old Frontierland to where this opens up into this car.
Well, your
stand.
your visuals, there's nothing you can say
I
about the
think
visuals at all.
you're gonna be sitting like this in Liberty Square, and then
Okay, how about think about this for a second?
It's Liberty Square up in the Alps.
You're walking down Main Street, right? Main Street. This is Walt's turn of the 20th century, right? Okay, if you go straight, you're in the Fantasyland. That's the old world Europe, right?
Sure.
You hook a left. Now you've gone into Revolution, right? Founding of America.
Yeah.
Make another left. Now you go from the founding of America to the Wild West.
Well,
The frontier,
your
yes.
first left would have been into Adventureland. The second left.
No, I'm talking about you're at the end of the hub. You could go straight into Fantasyland, or you could turn left here. Not come back.
Immediately beside the castle would be.
Sure, but
Not. Okay, I'm talking left. Not a 90 degree. Not a 80 degree.
well, as you're going up the hub, your first left would be to Adventureland.
But I didn't say first
your
left.
Second left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're at the hub.
Yeah.
You can go straight, or you can go. Because to me, at this point, Adventureland's behind me.
Well, if you're at the top end of the hub, if you're at the bottom end of the hub, no.
But if you think about from
Sure.
Liberty
Okay.
Square,
You're
founding
both
of
right.
the United States, go down Frontierland, and now you're on your westward expansion,
Sure.
right? Adventureland, that's
I've actually, to be honest, never thought Florida's Frontierland was much to get excited about.
no.
It's too linear for me.
It's bigger than this one.
It's bigger, but it's linear. You don't feel
it's
like
like
you're,
a strip mall.
Well, it is a strip mall, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't feel like you're engulfed in it.
Oh,
yeah, sure, you got the
and,
river.
And if you take the shortcut, go Frontierland,
yeah,
Adventureland.
yeah.
No.
That's why even the Pirates area, I dig their facade. Of course, they've got the Reader's Digest version of Pirates.
Yes.
Pirates Light.
But their facade is cool. Does it really fit?
Kinda. It fits the area, the Caribbean.
You go from basically, what's the Bogart movie?
Sierra Madre.
No,
No,
the Queen of the,
Oh, Amazon Queen.
Amazon
You
Queen.
go from that to the Caribbean. And it's a big leap.
But the Caribbean
Yeah.
facade is what buildings look like on the Caribbean.
On the Caribbean island,
African.
Yes,
but not where the African Queen is.
sure.
You jump from kind of tiki
Yes.
to
You go.
You just-
You go from tiki to
yeah. Now, if this Cars Land didn't have big giant mountains, and you might see into it, sort of like ours,
Ah!
you can sit at flows.
What's the weenie? Cadillac Ranch.
Cadillac
Range.
I might feel a little better about it. I'm trying to get past, do I really care about the river? Yes, it's a castle park. Now, even
But I
Hong
see what you're
Kong.
saying. When you're looking at Cars Land here, it's a nice smooth reading up into the Cadillac. It doesn't have a mountain between here and there.
Yes, I get it.
see, Avengers Land, whatever it's called, is
Avengers
another
Campus.
horrible entry done by second grade Imagineers.
What's the weenie? Tower, maybe?
It depends on which entry you come from, but the one you know, if you're walking through the old sundial, going up that route, you get to a container building, basically.
Yes.
I realize it's an industrial feel of the place, but, and if you didn't know that they were going to throw an animatronic around at some point, you know, you wonder why are people standing around. But back to this, back to Florida, I think I'd feel better if you could flow into it. But look at the council parks. So at Hong Kong, I saw somebody post, oh, nobody's there, the park's not getting any attendance since the commies took over, and, you know, they compared it to the Magic Kingdom, and you're comparing that to the wrong park. I mean, it was nearly a duplicate of Disneyland when it opened, even with the smaller castle, which now they...
Regret?
No, they've added on to it, like, you know, put Lego pieces on top of it.
Oh, okay.
They've tried to make it bigger. Now, on one hand, it does block the mountain that's behind it, which always seems odd.
But because you're on a man-made island.
You know, they've got a massive jungle cruise, very wide lanes, if you will, of water. Now, I don't remember if they've got a Rivers of America type area, because Tokyo...
At Hong Kong, you mean?
Tokyo's got an island. Their train is local, which now the rules that kept the train the way it is are gone. They could have it.
Oh, they can have multiple stops.
I believe, yes, they can.
Which question you want?
Hong Kong. Hong Kong
doesn't
and
have a Rivers of
Tokyo.
America.
Is there a Rivers of America? Because what I'm getting at is the castle parks. And I'm not sure if I can really call Shanghai. Now, I haven't been to Shanghai. I know the Esquire. I'm pretty sure he's been to Shanghai. I'm not sure about Matt. Or some of those, you know, there was going to be a round of the world tour with a few of these guys, and COVID fucked it up, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean about the castle, because they have this big, generic, generalized castle.
What I mean is, castle parks have generally the same layout.
Right.
We can go to DCA and say, what a fucked up layout. Oh, it doesn't use it. It's not a castle park. So, you know, Epcot's not a castle park. They don't follow
the hub and spokes.
Yeah. Which a lot of people think Disney invented, but, you know, we'll get past that. All right, what do you have you found them yet?
I've got the Tokyo Disneyland. All right, so there's the hub.
I know they've got an island, so they've got some kind of river thing.
So their river thing is down
river
here.
Over there, yeah.
River's down there.
There it is.
Yeah,
River
so they've
and
got
island,
a river.
yeah.
Okay. That's Tokyo or Hong Kong?
That's Tokyo.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's Jungle Cruise or what. I don't see anything else that could be considered
It
Jungle
seems
Cruise.
backwards.
It is better.
Oh, there's Jungle
There's
Cruise.
Jungle
There's Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, some of their things are flipped there.
right.
I think where their mansion sits, it's a weird spot.
All right, so let me go to Hong Kong Disneyland.
So, you know, this would be what I'm getting at, kind of definitely the first domestic castle park that will have no Rivers of America.
I think that's a short-sighted choice.
I have to agree
Okay.
with that.
They have
Yes.
47 square miles of freaking land. Why do they have to build on top of something else?
Yeah, why not put an Enchanto land?
They are doing an Enchanto
No,
land.
no. Put a off-road thing with Enchanto. You know, why? Well, why does it have to be Pixar cars?
Because
No, they want to mine their IPs. They don't come up with anything original. They either buy something they don't own, i.e. Marvel, Star Wars, et cetera, et cetera.
So
et cetera.
Adventureland, that looks like Jungle
Cruise.
Cruise.
It says Jungle Cruise right there.
I don't see.
Three notifications. Is anybody online?
Oh, we got 6 people watching.
6 people. No river at Hong Kong Disneyland that I can see.
Okay. I know they've got a Jungle Cruise, but
They have a Frozen Land though. It's got a giant ass water feature out front of it.
it's all ice. Is it frozen?
It's not frozen.
Or is it like Greenland and Iceland?
So yeah.
See,
Hong Kong has a meandering mouse. Hong Kong has a tiny island with only a treehouse on it, and the Jungle Cruise runs near it in the open. Kind of wonky.
Oh, what about, you've been to Paris. Did they have an island?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
they do, because Big Thunder
excited.
Mountain
Big Thunder Mountain goes
under the
Oh, that's
river
right.
and it goes
But-
up the island.
But can you go to the island?
No,
you cannot.
no.
Okay.
It's part of the
But there's
No.
a river around the
Yes.
island.
around it, yeah.
And it's still the best Big Thunder in my estimation. Wait,
Yeah?
let me see the live chat because I haven't. Andy Mouse is watching?
Man, it's been so hot.
Holy shit.
Somebody probably says, Greg's bagging. You better watch. That wasn't bagging. I was just
Nice.
relating stories.
Okay, so the mouse says that take the Liberty Bell over to Fantasmic at the studios and replace the PVC pipe.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
I
remember
can see
the
that
first
happening
time.
though.
I could, yeah.
If it'll make the turn, it's a tight.
Yeah, it's a tight turn.
And
but
by the way, Meandering Mouse, I've seen pictures of you and the kid growing up. Congratulations.
Wow.
Looks like you're having a lot of fun.
So that's cool. Yeah, the Pirates is bigger than okay. It says you can't go. All right, so he's following along. Thanks, Jeff. Long time no see. Maybe next time you come to California, you tell us.
Yeah,
I think it's time for a DTN reunion. It's coming up on 20 years since our first official one.
of everything, I'm going to get back to this bullshit.
Sorry,
Of
that was a
every-
tangent.
yeah,
Sorry.
of everything I've seen them announce, other than the shitload of sequels because they can't think of anything new and just keep on mining
Toy
these
Story
sequel
5,
movies.
Incredibles 3.
Okay.
I think
From Matt, surprised
Yeah.
Greg's not anti-river considering what happened to his sunglasses back in the day.
so glad he remembers that. Yeah, that gave me PTSD.
And the mouse is 20 years with a whole lot of question marks and exclamation
Yes,
marks.
yes.
Makes you
Coming
feel
up
old,
on
doesn't it?
20 years.
But yeah, I don't know that I'd lose a lot of sleep. What I lose sleep over is the design I've seen.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And they're shoehorning it in. Build it out there like they did this, and then let us in when it's done.
Well, that was the whole purpose of building it there, was to have all that room to build everything in.
Yeah, because they were going
To add,
they were
not
going to have a
replace.
Matterhorn
Yeah.
there, and it was going to be a lot bigger. But
I'll let you read that one.
Oh, okay. Someone making fun?
No, it puts things in perspective.
You see, since he was 14. Holy shit. Speaking of old, Push
yeah,
has worked here long enough to get his own silver pass.
that's what now?
15.
15, yeah.
Has his own silver pass now.
Nice. And he said he was going to quit, but he never quit. All these people that say they're going to quit never.
Wow.
I've been planning to quit ever since my 20th
The guy that was
anniversary.
in charge of security when I first came here came from a part-time job and never left. He was a teacher, and he eventually worked his way up to the top of security.
All right. So enough about feeling old.
Yeah, well, what we were just talking, big guy from Beyond Main Street.
Luke.
His kid was in a stroller the first time I met him. I think she's like in college volleyball now or
she
something
should
like
be
that.
graduating.
Or she might have graduated.
Back to the river, the island.
I think it's bad. Don't do it there. Do it somewhere else.
Based on my years in architecture and seeing how renderings work and lie and cheat and do everything to manipulate your mind, the way you see things. Some of this I take a little bit for granted. I'm not sure that's worked out yet, but this is sure in your face, and I just don't.
I think it's.
To me, it felt like it was supposed to be flipped around and behind,
maybe.
and maybe what you're seeing is the top of the spire. Maybe that's part of Villains Land. Maybe it's not. But supposedly Disney confirmed it would go at the river.
All I hope
Yeah,
is
that's what I
I hope it's
heard.
vaporware, because I don't know. I don't see a sense pulling out a water feature.
Well, the one thing I've liked and disliked about the Magic Kingdom, it's so big, it loses the intimacy that this park has. And a lot of people didn't, like a lot of people in the VPN didn't understand the intimacy and bagged on our park
Until they
being
got
so
here?
small until they got here, and then they're like, oh, I get it now.
Huh.
And, a lot of these influencers that I see I sent you one that is just ranting and raving for months now about getting rid of the Hall of Presidents. And as a fairly patriotic guy, I just want to give him the big finger. He's like, he wants it to be all Sleepy Hollow and all
Oh,
that.
no. I love the Hall of Fame.
And they'll say, well, but we've got Epcot, we've got the American Envision, we don't need this. There's a lot of international travelers. Every single one of you guys that are bitching about it are people who don't go anywhere else on vacation but Disney, and you're practically local. I mean, our favorite spiked hair gentlemen in Florida, sometimes have talked, I think, about, we're such a local park. How far are you from the park? Like a half an hour or less? I mean, the city has grown around that park.
Yes.
It's not out in the middle of nowhere like I went in 75. I kept wondering, are we there yet? Literally in the car.
Yeah. Well,
Where is
out in the
this
middle of the
fucking
forest.
place,
which
you
made
know?
sense to have lodging there
Sure.
because
There was
there's
nothing else around there.
Yeah.
Well, I remember my first trip out there with you back in '86. It was still, we went for miles going through there, and then when we were at the hotel, which we were actually at the hotel,
Or Lake Buena Vista.
Yes.
like Buena Vista, there was nothing around, and we were out even at night. It's like, okay, if you don't get it here at the hotel, you're not getting it.
There was no
Of course-
cross traffic where you saw some
course, now I
Joe's
can go-
Electric driving
Yeah, I
through the
can go- I can
property.
go across the street over to Burger
the
King.
marketplace wasn't it? Wasn't out
Yes, yeah, but it was
No, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what's down Disney Springs. I'm talking about where the grocery store is.
no,
No.
you had one where the Empress Lily was. That was the end.
No, the other way. The
Yeah,
other way.
yeah, on the other side of the street,
So,
no.
the street, the street kind of, you have some
As
hotels.
far,
one
as,
that
as far as
doesn't-
I know, no, that collection of hotels, which was Lake Buena Vista,
Yes,
all part
yes.
of,
And there's a boundary road.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it dead ended into.
as far as I know,
a strip
no.
center. Okay.
But then again, we relied on transportation they provided to get you into the Disney properties, and then
Yes.
you use their transportation, which their transportation existed of this. A
bus.
monorail between the two big parks, and that was it. You drove, or you we had a hotel tram to take us back to Lake Buena Vista. There were no buses. No,
In '86, there's no
no.
buses because when I was there.
We ran buses there in
Yeah,
'86.
we took a bus that the hotel provided us that took us to the park.
To the TTC, that's
To the
right.
TTC,
To the
yeah.
TTC, that's right.
So Fort Wilderness would be at that time be the only and Shades of Green, whatever,
Shades of
the
Green.
Disney Inn, whatever it's called out there. So I'm sure they had
I'm sure they had some.
bus
Oh, yeah.
transportation, right?
But,
Well,
we were a non-Disney
Correct,
hotel,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
we had to go. Everybody
I
there
stayed
had to
in the
go to
campgrounds in 1982. If you wanted to go to the Magic Kingdom, because there was no Epcot yet, it was being built.
Yes.
You got on a little boat
Yes.
that took you to to TTC.
Speaking of,
No.
Earlier.
It didn't drop you off right there in front of the.
Oh yes, yeah. You're right, it did.
just throwing in a tangent here, you were talking about when you were staying over at the Grand Floridian, and you were going to have great transportation capability.
Did.
The,
Monorail straight to
the,
the.
the best
going
place
the
that,
opposite
my opinion, the best place that has the best transportation is over at the Polynesian Resort, because you're on the monorail beam, but at the same token, we could just walk over here to the TTC and we can take the direct monorail over to
I'm
Epcot,
sorry.
and we had all the buses right there.
I'm sorry. There's no direct route from Poly to TT. You got to go out, walk on the side street, and go in.
No. Walk right.
Richard
I
lives in his own
videotaped it. I'll show you the video.
He lives in his own world.
I'm gonna check that because I've talked about trying to walk from TTC to Poly, and it's not.
Since I've stayed at the Floridian, I believe because of the crash on the monorail, they've reversed the directions on the monorail. Isn't that right?
I don't know.
So instead of being the first stop on the monorail, I think it'd be the last. I don't know.
Anyway,
I would never attempt to walk. What we found the best thing to do, this is what we worked out. You take the little boat to the Magic Kingdom in the morning, you take the monorail back at night.
yeah.
That worked out the best for me, because if you got on the boat at the end of the night, it would go to the Poly first and then back. But the monorail, I think, we had it worked out at the time. All right, so do you want to move on
Meandering
to
Mouse, there is a walkway from Poly to the TTC. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't think Mike said it didn't exist, but it was out of the way to him.
He said it didn't exist. He said you had to go
No.
out on
All right,
the street.
I'm looking right at the satellite view. Okay, it ain't no direct freaking. Yes, there is a path, but it's.
You go right through this path between the buildings.
There's a path right there,
Yeah.
right? There's a crosswalk for you because there's service vehicles. But if you're getting off a monorail here, you gotta walk out. Maybe this exit don't work. Maybe because they like to make you walk through a gate that's way over
We're
here
talking
instead.
about Florida. We're not talking about Disneyland.
See, this is where I would disagree with you. You're staying at a luxury resort. Last thing you want to do is go to the
And look,
TTC.
that satellite view shows that path goes to nowhere. Those are the trees and
It
poop.
goes through the trees.
It goes under the trees.
I don't know. I don't see.
think
I don't
that's
And
see.
then you walk on this gravel in the middle of the
I don't.
road.
I don't see it joining up here.
Okay, Mike, would you not agree with me?
What?
You're staying at a luxury hotel. The last thing you want to do is have to go to the TTC.
Well, you
Yeah,
have
no
to go
shit.
there to get to
Epcot.
but
I'd
if
still
you're-
like.
if
And
you're
that's
going-
where that's what we did when we went to Epcot. We walked over there and just took the Epcot.
But if you're
I'd
going to
still-
the
Anyways.
Magic Kingdom, see, I've always wanted to stay in the contemporary. People think now it's old and tired. To me,
I like the
it's
contemporary.
the future from
But see,
1970s.
Polly, if you don't get on,
Oh,
you
you're
walk.
really stuck on this now.
But
aren't
you can walk right out here and catch a boat. They'll take you straight across.
I know.
Yeah,
See what I mean?
I like the
Richard likes the long
wilderness.
way.
I like the
It's
wilderness.
about the journey, not the destination.
You like the Wilderness Lodge now? All right. So, okay. So are we done with Florida?
Yeah, we can't say how bad the Frontierland.
I think that's just a terrible, stupid idea. And,
Okay.
and I hope to God it's feelers. And I hope to God it's vaporware because I think it's dumb. All right.
Let's move on to
Poke yourself in the eye.
I did.
boy.
Oh, is that you having
Very,
a Richard moment?
No,
You
no,
have an
this-
aneurysm?
No, this just the end's missing.
Oh,
So
You
before
okay? I mean,
I'll be all right. So before we leave Florida,
so you go get some VA glasses. You don't have to be doing this.
I have VA glasses. They're reading glasses.
Oh, get the tries on that guy.
Odds for all the Florida stuff. What are the odds? in it?
Actually happening
Yes,
in Canto Land or Enchanto, whatever it's called.
that's a for sure for you.
I'm saying that's a 99.9%.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Because some of the work's already happening. I think isn't Dinosaur closed already?
I heard. Yes, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And it's a fairly easy change out here. Most of the changes just show elements.
No, there's actual construction going on there.
There's some, but
I
I mean,
think that's
like,
facade related.
but-
The new Encanto ride. That's all new.
Oh, he's talking about Indy.
Indy,
I'm
I'm
talking
talking
about
about
the
Indy,
land.
and I'm talking about your
I don't, have they
carousel
ripped,
over the top.
have they ripped out other rides in Dinoland?
I think some of that stuff's been closed for a while. Some of the kiddie rides.
So it's ready. It's primed to do
Okay,
it.
all right.
Well, and there's more construction than you think just to put a facade
Well,
on top of the
So
dino.
Tropical Americas is 90% to you. 99%?
99%.
Okay. All right. Monsters Inc. Monstropolis, to borrow Richard's phrase.
95.
I would say 90, 95, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you were to ask me how long it would take, which is going first, which is second, are they building it congruently? I would go with Enchanto Land first.
Tropical Americas goes first,
Monsters
yeah.
Inc. Yeah.
Would be next.
All right. And then that leaves.
And hopefully the fucking Frontierland thing dies a
Dies
miserable
Dies
death.
miserable.
Oh, but we didn't talk about
But-
villains. Villains.
Villains.
Villains is fine. Villains is back there.
You know,
Fine.
I don't know if I give two shits about villains, and I really don't know if I even want a villain's land. I
I'm
think
gonna
villains
say
work perfect in where they already exist,
Yeah, I want
in
to say
contrast to the characters that are in these lands already.
Don John's listening. At D23, they said they announced the closing date for dinosaurs so that people could do it their last ride on it.
yeah, John Deathry, dinosaurs still open for now.
But I think I think that's a done deal. That area's tired, anyways. It looks run down and old.
They kept it up very much.
Villains Land is really big right now because they got a couple shows on Disney Plus that are the villain shows and the descendants
I'm
of the
okay
villains.
with this because it's its own brand new thing and it's way out there.
But I don't think it's going to have the steam.
But is the path going past the mansion and around through loops, or does it only come in through where like the old Skyway was?
I think they could do it either way.
Well, the artwork I saw, so if you think of the mansion and the show building that goes behind it, it backed up to the show building.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've
John's
got
saying, I feel like Villains Land is going to get budget cuts into a few meet and greets.
More vaporware. More
Probably, I would
vaporware.
agree with you on that one.
well, some of the villains are scary.
Yeah.
You've seen the one.
But I will say, the Descendants.
Huh? Okay, all right. No. Never mind. Never mind.
Descendants.
Text me.
Descendants, which are the offspring of the villains. We've had a few of
Descendants,
those.
I see
We've had a
that.
few of those characters, face characters, wander around DCA.
All right. Okay.
Which
So,
go figure.
but so we didn't talk about villains much because I don't think it's an impact. It's net new like this place. Okay. So
Yeah, I see. I know a lot of fans supposedly have been asking for a villains. in the sense of Disney,
We've been asking for it for a long time.
I know, but in the in the sense of Universal, Universal's got a ton of really great villains. And, Frankenstein's monster, Mummy, blah 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 blah.
Those aren't villains. Those aren't villains. Those are monsters.
Whatever.
A villain is a dude that thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's really not.
Or a woman if she goes that way.
Or doesn't care.
A person, okay, yeah, sociopath, yeah.
I just don't know about in the thought of Disney. Like, I like Deadpool. I don't think I agree with Deadpool doing those jokes in a Disney kids park.
Did you see Deadpool with Star-Lord on the dance-off they did that one day?
I've seen some videos, but I think his jokes are a little beyond what.
Did you watch the movie? Oh my gosh.
No. I'm talking about in the family park. Movie's another thing. But now you're.
Is he saying that? He's not dropping F-bombs over there.
Well, not
is he?
F-bombs,
No,
but
no.
he's getting close with some of the innuendos and content.
okay.
And he comes out, and instead of having the guns in there, he has a couple shawarma sandwiches in his holster.
Nice.
I personally, it's hard to have the swagger of. I'm blank on names tonight. Of the actor.
Okay, for Ryan Reynolds?
Thank you. This guy just, for me, he doesn't got it. It's like Star-Lord and all these other ones.
Yeah, okay.
But you might as well put a head on him because I don't think they're very good face characters.
What I did like was seeing Deadpool come on and saying, "Fix the Yeti."
Yeah, that was awesome. Now that was good, and I totally agree with that.
All right, so villains we don't care, right? We kind of glossed over that. We have a problem with.
I haven't seen enough of villains to give two shits about it.
I'm very vague.
Very vague,
Would you
yeah.
call it swirly artwork? Swirly? No.
Swirly artwork,
Swirly.
yeah.
Okay. So let's come here. You need a refill, do you?
I could use a refill, but let me get back to the list of what, because there's some really good stuff here and something I'm going to take credit for.
All right. Well, my first question is, where's Avatar Land going to go?
Okay, now we've seen some, as Richard has called it, swirly artwork. I would go beyond saying it wasn't as swirly as it was just not very defined. Remember, we were shown some new lands over in the parking area by the hotel. The hotels would almost be
Surrounded.
surrounded
Yes.
by
Like they punch a breach here.
Well,
Sure, yeah.
one of the details that I've seen in some of the drawings is they do show Disneyland Drive going down underneath in a whole series of bridges going across like they have with downtown Disney.
Sure.
Okay.
And you don't even know you're going on down. First time I walked over, I'm like, this is done really well. You don't even realize you're walking over.
Yeah,
Unless
it
you
is
knew
done
it was
very
there,
Yeah.
you don't have a sense that you're doing that. So I think Avatar Land, now is it going, the question would be, is it DCA or is it Disneyland?
It's supposed to be DCA.
Okay. So if it's across in the downtown Disney parking lot,
Yes. The parking lot behind the
Pixar.
Hotel.
The Simba parking.
Whatever. Yes.
Yeah,
Pixar
okay. So
Place
makes sense.
Hotel.
I don't have a problem with it. People seem to like the one in Florida, except for one ride. There's one ride I think you told me it's like a dumb dark ride.
Okay. First of all, you wait in line for a really long time.
And what do you consider a really long time? Where's your breaking point?
Everybody
2 hours?
2 hours.
Give me a drink.
Sure.
You guys argue. I'm gonna go get drinks. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna
Take over the
monitor the chat. So, yeah.
Is it Flight of Passage? Is that what it's called?
No, it's called Navi River Journey or something like
okay,
that. Okay. It's 2 hours. 2 effing hours. You wait in this queue, and you get in, and it's a boat ride. And it looks really nice. You know,
Is that the one that's got the fancy animatronics
Yes,
and the arms?
yes. The shaman telling the story,
Sure,
whatever, right?
yeah.
Beautiful, right? Beautiful. You're transported. The glowing floor.
Sure.
3 minutes.
You're on Nambu or Bamboo
3
or whatever.
effing minutes. 3 minutes.
Well, they spend so much in that animatronic,
Dude, it is bad. Yeah.
Anybody agreeing with you or disagreeing?
All right, so Jeff says, Bill, it's a good chance of proper treatment. So Matt, proper treatment is expected to be done by 2031. It's vaporware, dude.
No,
Vaporware.
let me
That's
ask
7 years away.
Yeah, let's say they do an evil witch.
Which what, right?
Yeah. Do we just go through Snow White, but see it from the witch's point of view?
Yes.
So
Something
it's an opposite.
Like it used to be here.
Yeah, it's an opposite view of that ride.
keep up the price of chasing everyone off. They might not budget. Okay. Think Coco might. Okay, so Coco will talk to you in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Avatar says no clue we're squeezing in parking lots. Yes, we're thinking
Well, I don't think it's a squeeze. I think it's across the
that,
street.
that parking lot where people park for downtown Disney now is plenty big enough for Avatar.
Yeah.
I think the existing Avatar footprint at Animal Kingdom will probably fit in that parking
Well,
lot.
and then the question could be asked, is it a duplicate of Florida's?
No. The artwork, if you look, is
I wouldn't know because I haven't been to the...
no, but it tells you it's the one in Florida is referring to the first movie. The new one's going to refer to the second movie.
Okay, all right.
And so it's going to be, water-based.
So
or
maybe
whatever.
no 3-minute ride.
Dude, that ride is so epic short. Oh, this is cool. Oh, this is cool. Oh, there's the shaman. Okay, get out. I stood
So
in line for this.
it's kind of like my puddle jumper in Hawaii from the
Yeah,
big
oh my
island of
gosh,
Maui. They're handing out drinks, and you're like this, and like, okay, we need them back, we're landing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude, and, okay, the Flights of Passage, that's really cool.
it's a Superman ride, right? That you lay out.
No, you sit on a motorcycle,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Here we go. Another round of thermal detonators.
Thermal detonators. Richard, you're a gentleman and a scholar.
Don't they have
My pleasure.
alcohol around?
They do have alcohol around, but we got to.
Can you take it out?
No, you can't take it out of the room. I'm actually surprised that they put them in the yellow cups.
Right now we're at PG-13. Do you want to go on?
All the time.
Yeah, see? John thinks the same thing. It's going to go in that parking lot behind
I
where
think
people
that's
park
a-
for downtown Disney right
That's
now.
a 90%er for me. That's a fair place to go. And I'll just say it right now, give that 95%.
It's actually going in?
Yeah. You know why? It doesn't impact anything else
No.
other than a parking lot.
Correct.
Now, until we see some place to replace that parking lot,
That big giant ass parking lot they're supposed to build over there.
they're supposed to, but
Where
could you imagine?
where the casket can tell
Yeah.
What's that?
Manchester. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Manchester
yeah.
one.
Yeah, they're supposed
But
to build
can you
a giant parking
imagine?
structure.
And-
You're just coming here from downtown Disney. You could park way. You might as well park at Garden Walk and fucking walk over to the opposite side. You know what I'm saying? They're really removing you long ways from where you want to get to if you're here just for downtown Disney, which sometimes we do. Hey, let's meet at downtown Disney. No cost, no, you know.
Well, you can go to those structures if you want to go downtown Disney.
Yeah, but then that'll impact that. Maybe
But
that's
phase
the
is,
idea.
With the new parking structures there, you have the bridge that goes over harbor, and all that gets fenced in. Downtown Disney gets extended to where the hotel train shuttles are right
So
now.
the idea,
I don't know
right,
about that.
those
Yeah,
two,
that's exactly how it's
those
Wait,
two-
so you're gonna have downtown Disney on both sides of the Esplanade?
We're not going to have the Esplanade's going to be across the street with parking structures. So
Wait.
you go through your
There's-
screening over here by the
No,
parking.
forget about this. The Esplanade, right in the middle between the parks, the
Yes.
Compass Road.
You're going to have downtown Disney on both sides.
That's what I just asked you to say. No.
Okay. Well,
I
when
misunderstood.
you
Misunderstood.
yeah, I misunderstood
Okay,
because I think
now,
Esplanade were the
all right,
shuttles.
hang on. So, Mickey and Friends, 10,000 spaces, right? Picture Palace, 6,000 spaces. Toy Story, 7,500 spaces. So, that's barely enough parking for
Manchester.
Manchester's gonna be how many? How big?
It's
Anybody
supposed to be bigger than Mickey and Friends.
One of the online hacks is just to park at Garden Walk because it's cheaper.
It is. I think it's $10.
Max?
Well, no, they
$10 for an
no,
hour?
they charge by the hour. That's right.
But it maxes out at less
What does
than
it
what
max
the
at?
parks.
Wow.
Okay, but here's the only problem with saying.
Schlep from here away over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much farther. It's like when
That's a low blow.
when the Esquire.
Matt, when is the Hall of Crappy Leadership opening in Villains? Similar to Hall of Presidents, but AAs of Pressler, Cynthia Harris, and Chapek.
Those are some callbacks, dude. Those are some serious callbacks.
Okay.
Shit.
Here's the only problem with Avatar Land going there, which seems to me like the logical place to put it. We didn't talk about Coco yet, which is what I'm excited about because I love Coco.
Okay.
And it's going to be a water ride, unless it's a 3-minute water ride like this.
Who the hell knows? Where's Coco gonna go?
I thought it would go across the street also.
On the other side.
No.
I'm thinking
Because it's supposed to be DCA. The way I understood it was going across the street north of the towers.
Doesn't the artwork tell you?
Let
Give
me-
you an idea?
let me go. The parking lot north of, the parking lot north of the towers, I expect it to be connected to Disneyland.
Yes.
South connected to
DCA. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so it just shows inside. I don't know if it shows any outside.
Read some of the words.
Andrew
I don't
Mouse
wanna read
mentions he thinks it's going to replace Goofy Sky School.
Oh, yeah,
Got
yeah,
that one.
maybe
And
back
that's
in that corner.
And that's exactly
Yeah.
where I agree.
Because
I
that's
think
where
it's gonna go into
all the Coco
that.
stuff is happening in that corner.
I can see that, and I had originally thought that's Carney. That's all Carney.
But maybe all of that. Goofy Sky School with the Dinosaur Jack,
Yeah.
Corn Dog Castle,
Just get rid of all this shit. Basically,
the Jumping Jellyfish,
from
the flying silver dildo.
from Ariel down, maybe that
Yeah.
becomes like a Coco Land.
Okay.
I can see that easily because that,
I like that.
I think he's onto something there. And I had thought about that, and I was trying to think of space. I had to look it up aerial maps and how much depth, but depends on what kind of attraction you do. But I could totally go with that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Greg,
All right.
They say they're drawing from like the Mansion and Pirates on a big ride. We'll see. Beginning of work starts.
Catch you later,
in 2
Matt.
years.
Thank you very much.
2020.
Matt's signing off with us.
Which man?
At,
Pennsylvania, Matt.
Yeah.
Rumpa?
yeah, slip up.
Thanks. Oh, he's already got it, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the map, but that makes logical sense.
Well,
But then it's a Zephyr, it's all that stuff.
Zephyr needs to go.
Yeah,
Well,
Zephyr's
yeah,
always been a problem child since day one.
If it's
If we
too
get
windy.
any
Too
wind,
windy, yeah.
it doesn't work too well.
Yeah. But I like the idea of Coco. I'm all for a Coco ride.
I like Coco.
And I think the color palette, especially if it was in a
And the mere fact that we already have the characters in that area there, it's just logical.
What else we got?
It does make sense. It's all Monsters Inc. Plan, Coco Ride, Avatar. So we did Trump, Lion King. Oh, the one I'm probably going to take credit for. Let's wait for that. Mando and Grogu.
Grogu. That's inside
Right
Smuggler
here.
Run.
Right, well, it's going to replace Smuggler's Run.
No, it's just an additional mission.
Additional.
So,
Think Star Tours, multiple choices.
yeah.
One will be Mando, one will be the regular Smuggler's Run.
Oh,
And all it is just simple programming and
Well, nothing simple. But
well, it's not like we have to rebuild something. We already got
well,
the simulator.
I think they've come to the same conclusion about 99% of the fans have. That ride sucks.
That's terrible.
And they need to do something else. I hope it becomes more automated. And I hope that at some point someone will pull the stick out of their ass and say a 2-year-old princess should not be flying this stupid thing. Because it's not a good experience for anybody.
No.
Not even
No.
for her.
No.
I've watched one. I was on that once on the single rider line.
Dude, you and I flew in that hot
Yeah.
ass time.
And and then I understand, it might be and I've had this argument online, and people are vicious. Oh, how could you, it might be some kid's dream, and I'm like,
They put it in an automated mode where it doesn't jostle the shit out of everybody else.
and and here's your participation award. I'm sure you got one, you're just gonna pass it on to your kids and teach them no values, and they have to learn rejection. Because that ride is not meant to be driven
It's
by
terrible.
2-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
You're dividing your attention from looking out
Well,
the window
that too.
and pushing your damn buttons.
And because we go in the single rider line, the wife and I usually get stuck in being an engineer. You know what it means? It means that I am using my peripheral vision, and I'm just going bam, bam, bam on this. That ride has got to be so beat up by now, just getting, beat
Well,
on.
the last couple times I went through the what do you want to call it, where the chess set is, the waiting room.
The waiting, yeah.
Did you all
I've
get any
seen
time to-
chunks removed off the wall and things,
Sure.
chunks taken off the table.
Because that's really cool. The first time you go in there, I'm inside, let me sit down on the chest table, get a
Yeah.
picture. Don't get out of your colors being called.
I know. The last time I was, the wife and I were literally sitting. And they called us. The first time I think we all rode it. We had some time.
We had a chance
It was
to take a
super
picture.
busy.
Well, it's just been open a month. All right, so what is your idea?
Nighttime parade. I don't give two
Don't give
shits
shits
about.
about parades, no.
And what's the Epic Games?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that one.
Disney and Epic Games share Fortnite review. What the fuck is a Fortnite?
Oh, Fortnite's a video game.
Video game. And I think that's kind of...
Epic's a game studio.
Don't give two shits.
Epic's a game studio. All right.
Now the next one we're going to talk about, I
We
almost
used to have that. What was it called? Disney Quest. That was all games.
That was an arcade.
I enjoy Disney, but I had fun
There's
in
some
that.
good stuff there.
It's a good relax from the parks and time killer. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is, I think this isn't 100%. I already think it might be started because it was closed when I came in to go in it.
And I will say, yes, you are correct.
And this is Mr. Lincoln
Oh,
and the Walt Disney animatronic.
I think that is a giant mistake.
Really, this is one. I've talked about this
We've
since
talked-
probably day one on this show.
We've talked about
And-
is Walt the sacred cow.
And I've talked about this on my other show. I really believe they were waiting for the two daughters to die. Because who gives a two fucks about the grandchildren? Nobody knows who they are. His brother's dead, his brother's kid's dead, his two daughters are dead. Right, they're both dead, right? They both died?
Yeah, Diane passed.
Okay.
I think she went first, didn't she?
No, Sharon went a long time.
That's okay. So, Diane didn't. I think she had a fall or something. She died a while ago. I really think they were waiting for immediate family members to die.
You're making John and Jen laugh. Can't stop laughing. Greg saying, "What the hell is a fortnight?" That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks. You haven't learned that in English?
We were talking about pounds right earlier.
Stone,
Two
stone.
It's
2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh wait, we got to quote "So I married an axe murderer."
Yeah.
What? Come on, man. How can you eat the kernel? Because he puts a secret ingredient. It makes you crave it fortnightly. You smart ass.
It's like Robin Williams' secret ingredient into Jack
Jack Daniels.
Or Jack
Daniels, yeah,
turns
that's where he
around
puts
and
the
starts
zip.
peeing. All right. Okay, so this could
Who's
be
that hanging over their hose? Just some
This could
bean
be
that
done-
pisses off.
very badly.
What's that?
Okay, we're back to Disney.
Right, sorry.
This could be done very well, or it could be done very badly. Now, what I find interesting about this is not only they could have. It's not I don't think it's a rotating set. They're not.
No, it's gonna be like Lincoln. You file in, sit down.
No. What I
No,
mean
because
is,
they're-
it's a rotating show.
So you could get Walt or you could get Abe.
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
it's that rotating. I think it's maybe seasonal. Last I read, I thought it was going to be like, let's say the first 3 months of the year it's Lincoln, and the next 3 months. I don't know that part.
I want to say they do have enough room
For another
in
theater,
the
yes.
basement that they could put a sliding table to have one set or the other set.
It's it's not a
they're
non-decent sized basement, but I don't think
Because the sets aren't. Lincoln sits in his chair with a flag and a table next to him.
Well, he
Big deal.
doesn't always sit up because at night he's like this.
He looks like he's at the theater.
Oh, seriously. The first time I walked up on him, I kind of and is there blood? Now, true story told
Just
to,
oil.
Yeah, true story told to me, so I'll just take her at her truth. You would know this girl, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking.
She told me that when she did her first animation check, because there was a key kind of down in the, I
You
can't
kind
call
of
it
have
a
to go about
basement.
halfway down.
She walked up to do an animation check, swears to God that there were maintenance guys in the control room, turned them on, and she had to go change her underwear. Scared
No,
the living shit out of her.
Okay. This is what was told me
Well,
by her.
you don't know that it's her. So just say a person told you a different story, because you don't know.
Okay. Okay. Perhaps it's somebody else. Girl, I know. I knew her
Should have
from.
brought a light.
Yeah,
really.
I thought about that, but I didn't know my
But
Let me see how good.
see, it's two. She worked in Mr. Lincoln as an attraction hostess.
This was a security person.
Okay. She worked in She worked in Mr. Lincoln as an attraction hostess, and then she came to security. And yes, I heard from a couple of the maintenance guys that this was one of the fun things. When they're doing work up in the projection booth, they can flip on the switch to Mr. Lincoln, and they like, because the curtains are all open, everything's just opened up at night in maintenance mode, and you're checking to see, you're doing your animation checks to see if there's any oil drips or if somebody's been playing around with it. And when he goes on, the first thing the figure does is do a full motion test to see if all the things are working. And it's a 50-50 if he's going to turn left or if he's going to turn right. And half the time he's looking right at you, turns right at you. Yeah, you crap your pants because she comes in that one night and they're trying to do the trick on her and they pull the whole thing. Well, she's already had it done to her before. She worked the attraction and she just looks up at them like, yes.
So, animatronics now are pneumatic, right?
All sorts of things. They're hydraulic, they're pneumatic.
Okay, well, hydraulic, you have to, when you pump them on, you need to have, a pump needs to fire up
Most
first.
of the new ones have no hydraulics.
They're all
They're
pneumatic,
It's
electronic.
all pneumatic.
Well, they're electronics, electric
Little electric motors.
Yeah.
Some of the servos.
Okay, so
And reed switches, like there's reed switches, I think.
Back in that day, would it be pneumatic or would it be hydraulic?
Well, we were looking for oil leaks.
Well, he was hydraulic in our day.
So, okay, so in your day, if you flip them on, first the pump's got to activate.
Yep.
So you're going to get your pump, and then you could, so it'd be the pump energizing will be your first clue that he's about to move.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know where that pump is.
Can't be that far.
Well, it's true, it's below, but how much noise, how much pad, you know. Or every time you hear some noise, you immediately think, oh, that's coming here. You know, if you're, it's maybe not your
Or
elevator.
they might have pump running during the night as you're doing tests, and they just and they just flip the switch to say activate.
Well, there must be pressure because we were looking for those leaks.
Yeah.
And there was a couple times on Pirates, famously the auctioneer was spraying, hot, pneumatic oil. And I'm looking at the pictures, and the
Hot
two
pneumatic
different.
oil? You mean hydraulic
What,
oil?
you know what I meant.
Pneumatic. That's pneumatic oil.
He
How do
spits
you-
at you.
How do you hot two again?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Looking at the two sets now.
It's going too long.
I
What do you mean
think
it's going too long? We're
No,
talking
this show is just going way off.
Dude,
we're trying to
we're almost
get to
done.
something.
We're almost done.
We're
Okay, but
sidetracked.
Sorry.
hang on. What did he do? Tell you a story about his childhood?
Well, no. First of all, if you look at the two sets, the Lincoln set, even though there's a few more items, to me, when I look at this, it looks like child's play compared to what it is now. It's very regal, if you will. There's a chair, there's a nice background, it feels big. This feels like, an 8th grade art project, some diorama
It does look that way.
that some kids made. So to have it rotate in and out, if you look between the two, completely different sets. Now, there's no room to go up. We know that because there's offices up there, unless they're going to gut that, which I doubt. There's not really room to go down.
Side.
No, because you have an entrance and an exit, and there's hallways in the well, unless they reconfigure that. I mean, you never know what they could do. For all we know, they could reverse the whole theater and put a circular, turntable and turn it around. I mean, or we're potentially gutting the place.
The existing waiting area.
Possibly, but
so,
you
all right,
gotta
so
know this
it's-
is gonna attract a lot of people when it first opens. You
Yeah,
gotta
okay, but listen. So right now, the theater,
reverse the entry exit.
the Lincoln essentially is backed up to Main Street, right?
Yes.
When he stands up his back to the
Well, basically, when you walk in and you see that shit right there,
Okay, so let's say you have giant waiting area. I mean, that waiting area is bigger than the theater.
Okay.
It's deeper.
All right.
It's deeper. All right, but you rip all that out, make a nice big square.
Sure.
Okay, you can rotate the
Well, where are you gonna wait the people?
Well,
Okay, but here's the waiting area is right at the beginning or outside. I'm telling you, they make you wait outside for lots of shit nowadays.
But this is also a meet and greet area. There's a lot
well,
of Mickey's out front.
if
You're saying
we have a Walt Disney, we really need the Walt Disney story going on as the pre-show going into seeing Walt Disney.
Oh, he sees desk on
There's
it.
not much of a Walt Disney story.
Okay,
His
but
deaths are
But to
long
answer your
gone.
question, I can picture they're going to use some of Walt's speeches talking about his thoughts towards patriotism, Americana, and wokeness. Because Walt was very big in wokeness. He was ahead of all of us.
I don't know. They should.
I think he should have a cigarette in one hand
And
Yeah.
A freaking low ball in the other.
Karen asked if it'd be smoking.
And yeah, Sundays was Daddy's Day.
Yeah.
The girls would be riding the merry-go-round,
Mark,
and I'd be sitting on the bench eating peanuts.
And then you do that, and then and one time somebody thought airbrush that away and it disappears, and now we have the two-handed.
Yeah,
finger
that's
plucked
where they
it
got.
to a finger
That's it. Yeah. You have Mark Davis making his joke that you can always tell when the boss is coming down the hallway. Everybody was goofing off, and then you can hear the coffee getting there. Straighten out so we look like we're
Now,
doing something.
Man is in the woods. Man is in the woods.
Yeah.
When I talked about the idea I've had for a long time, 'cause I've wanted to see a Walt animatronic for a long time, but my thought was different. Walt introduced you to the technology, his thoughts, and why Lincoln is there. Lincoln is his
It
favorite
could be
president.
something like that.
But I don't think. I mean, it could be, but you're making a lot of stage space up. And the whole idea of the rotating show, I haven't quite figured out yet, but it very possibly, there's a lot of depth up there. Maybe the sets aren't that big to where it can rotate. But is it random, how do you...
So, okay. Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I'm kind of... When I was first hearing this with Mike, this is kind of sacred cow territory. I don't like the thought of this, but as I saw what their set looks like here and everything,
It's his office.
It could be
Kind of.
it could be a good show, and okay, I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like.
All right. How long does Lincoln stand up and talk to you?
Actually talk to you, probably
5 minutes?
5 to 7 minutes somewhere.
Okay. So assume the same thing for Walt.
Sure.
Seriously, what are you talking about?
Or maybe the shows are together. Maybe the curtain closes and then Lincoln. That is a long time. Hall of Presidents is a long time.
Oh, because they got to introduce 46 swinging dicks before they get to the guys.
Well, plus they have the
Well, 40,
The
45 because one of them was president twice.
William Harrison, right?
Yeah, I think
They've got to show all the pre-show, the video. They got.
yeah.
It's a long show. That's why some people use it as a napping place.
I don't know. I just can't think of what they could have him say that is worth investing this technology in. What do we need to hear Walt say from the grave? What does he need to present to you? Welcome to give his freaking opening day speech? No, don't even hear that.
No. I think it's to a generation of people that didn't grow up with him on TV like we did.
Oh, I see it.
Even though for me, most of that was repeats. Because I was like 3 years old when he died. So did I really remember what I saw on Sunday night? Probably not. But I sure saw a lot of repeats.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of archive footage, and of course, you get all the stuff around here that you get to watch during all your training garbage. Where there's a lot of good things where he's talking about that is used to give you the the cheering crowd, the rah-rah to get back out there and do the job.
I don't know. I think it could be a very emotional thing if this animatronic really feels like Walt.
I think it can be too.
Though if it doesn't cough and it doesn't smoke and it doesn't drink, I'm not sure.
Gotta have a cigarette with
Well,
it.
remember what Walt said.
Yeah,
Walt
that's
said,
not Walt Disney.
Yeah. Walt Disney doesn't drink. I had my first one before 10 a.m. Walt Disney doesn't smoke. I go through 2 packs a day.
Well, I don't know if he said 10 a.m., but I get your point. I think he talks about the philosophy behind the park. Maybe he introduces Lincoln. Maybe it's a 2-part show. I don't know. That part is very unclear.
All right. So the part where he says, seriously, Sunday was Daddy's Day, and I'm sitting on the bench watching the kids, right? And I'm thinking to myself, there has to be some entertainment enterprise, where the whole family can do something together. But half the shit now, the whole family can't do together anymore.
I know.
There's ride heights for
A
stuff.
lot of the okay, I wanted to go over you the we're talking sacred cows. We're talking about Disneyland will never be finished, right? Somebody applied that to Walt Disney World. I don't know that necessarily applies, but I think by extension you could say it does. So let's just give it that. Let's think about Walt's time from 55 to his death.
66.
What major changes I mean, there were changes, don't get me wrong. What? Just areas where they blew it out and started over.
Tomorrowland.
No, it's not. Think about Tomorrowland, and you've been in these buildings, and look at the footprint. The buildings are all the same, they just have new facades and new rides in them. They didn't bulldoze it down. Now they added the people mover, but if you look at the shape, you'll see a round rectangle.
With the two wings on it.
Yes, Space Mountain was built later than him. Carousel building to bring his attractions home from there, but they updated it. Matterhorn's added, sure. Okay, they got rid of the Phantom boats and the Streamliner. Ended up with the Utopias. Those are something, but those were kind of like open, wasted areas. Not unlike a lot of people that call for the end of the Utopia or the Motor Speedway in Florida. Large swath of land, but to me that's kind of like the river. It's not a sacred cow, but it feels like something open, so you're not all.
Here's an over/under. How long before they electrify all that?
That's been a rumor for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been pushing for that for years. I've been saying that's tomorrow.
How long?
That's been a rumor.
How long before they actually get around to doing it?
I think they'll get rid of it before they make the expense of electrifying it.
Well, they can find a way to charge
I'm going
it
to go with 6 years.
quick and cheap, then they'll stay. Because that is a kid's favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, now if
It's
you're
the first time most kids, 8, 9, 10 years old, get to drive.
okay, which one do you want to talk about, Florida or here?
Let's talk about here. We've talked about Florida. Let's talk about here.
If let's say they can electrify it, first thing I would do is put the entrance back over to Fantasyland, cut about half of the ride off because I don't want it looping in way deep into Tomorrowland. It can be short. Remember, they were two intertwining attractions.
Yes, I remember, yeah.
Shorten it a little bit. Turnover goes faster, but it's a fantasy now. It's not really tomorrow. It is in the sense of somebody that says, you know, what is today will be tomorrow today, and today will be today tomorrow.
Yeah,
now in that
electrified,
sense,
you're talking about
fuck, we have it now. We have electric now and it doesn't work, you know?
Well, I was going to say, yes, it's still, even though you see a Tesla on the road everywhere you turn, it's still the quick recharge, which you would need for something like this, is not available.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's being used to propel some items in the park. And
Talk about like the magnetic business?
yeah, when I was interviewing
Induction.
with a company to work on electric cars, my first question was, where am I going to work? And the guy said, Fisker, whatever,
Fisker,
which
yeah.
went out of business like shortly after that.
No, they're still in
They're
business.
still around. They got bought. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, they're not a contender.
They were right over here, now they're over there.
And then he was talking about we're close to getting induction charging to work where these can just be laid out on freeways and you're charging all the time.
Who pays for that electricity?
Well, there's always that question. But apply that here to, remember, Disneyland's done a lot of things that never worked in the big world, you might say, monorails. I mean, they're out there, but they're not the future transportation we thought they would be. I still think they could be part of the infrastructure.
Too expensive.
They're not as expensive as everything. That is a big fallacy that the light rail people want you to really believe in. Seriously.
Because what was it back in the day? They were all talking about, monorail's $1 million a mile, but in those days, yeah, light rail was still like $20 million a mile, and a subway was $100 million a mile, but monorails are too expensive at $1 million.
Think about this. What does the monorail compete with when it's driving? Nothing.
No.
What's light rail compete with?
Cars.
What's subways don't, but you know, that's super expensive. Monorails can be constructed almost 75% off site.
Yeah, because they're just putting the pylons down.
In the place.
It's not because and I've talked to Bob Kerr about this, it's a weight issue. It's something they struggle with here. You can only put so much weight on that beam.
Oh, okay.
But we are also using a scaled version of a full-size monorail. They do work in some places. They have worked in some. But it's not a complete, we'll replace all transportation. It's got to be a mixed bag. You know, it might satisfy in an inner city, but it's not long distance.
Right.
You know, it's a mix. But anyways, I digress. But I think we could electrify, but I'm really surprised Utopia is still open, especially in Florida. Because as they bring in things like Tron, etc., and they see this wall, this big piece of land,
Batteries run down 15%. 100%.
I'm surprised it's not gone already in Florida.
The monorail?
Yeah. No,
No, the
Oh,
Utopia.
the Utopia.
Or what are they? Tomorrowland Speedway, they call it.
And I like it, but it's just big and open. They're slow, and people complain about the smell. I'm like, get over yourself.
I have a problem with the lawnmower motors. They just start annoying me. All right, so back to Walt. Sorry, we ran on a tangent there.
I think Walt's it's being worked on right now. I think
It
it's
is being
100%.
worked on right now. It's already.
I'm with you. I'm kind of curious. What's he going to talk about?
That to me, that's the main.
And if it's all those things you talked about, hasn't every fan already seen that? And about every movie, the pre-show when they had the Walt Disney story. I mean, that was all in there. But tell me, would you rather see it on a film, or would you rather see it in a near life like animatronic right in front of you?
That was
A
the
person
whole
who
purpose of
never
like,
got to meet Walt, seeing what could eerily be spooky. Here, when I got to work, at the park, and
I'm in the friggin' dark.
and finally see
It's okay.
things up close.
No one's really chatting anyway. We got 7 people watching.
Are we
Oh, we
listening
had
to
a-
the conversation, or are we just playing with our
No, he signed off, so I signed in.
Okay.
Go on.
The odd thing to me, when I got here, and I got to get up close to animatronics, none of them bothered me except for Lincoln, because he's a real figure.
Person, yes. That makes sense.
If I was a maintenance guy, or the guy, you guys don't do animation checks or keys anymore, it would be weird to see a real person. Like you said, you saw Flight of Passengers or whatever, and she's all cool, and it's like the movies. But it's a fake thing. It's a fake person.
Yes.
Now we're going to see our hero, right?
Because the only way you can see that person in line is you know it's a robot.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not.
But, so will that carry through more than just the films we've seen? Is it going to be weird because it's there? Is it going to be cool? I'm all for it. So I'm just hoping that the story is done well.
Yeah, I agree.
Or the experience, because people get too much stuck on stories.
We know the animation will be well. We
Yes.
know the animation will be good. Because at this point they've had 60 years to perfect the animatronics, right?
And they're looking pretty good these days.
We know the animation will be good. But what he talks about is going to be the make or break.
It's all about the presentation at this point.
Exactly.
I'm not that impressed with the sets. The artwork is not really, blowing wind up my skirt. It really
Again, something we're grateful for.
You know what I'm saying? It looks like dioramas you do in high school or junior high.
Yeah, I know. The Lincoln looks the worst.
It is. Lincoln looks really bad.
Yeah,
But this might be some AI. I don't know. This for all the artwork they've done, this looks the worst.
Does he have full set of fingers and the regular 4
Yeah,
hands?
it looks like
That's the first thing I look for.
They kind of took what we have now with the chair, and then they added this background and a curtain behind it. See, the curtain could be telling to me that, is it, because he sits back a ways now. If they push it up, use the space we have behind it, could they have the turntable and turn these things around?
Yeah.
But what's the point? But every time they try to take Lincoln out,
People have a hissy.
you know who has the biggest hissies? Teachers. According to everything I've read,
That makes sense.
teachers always complain because this is, I don't want to say it's a teaching tool, but I guess a lot of teachers encourage people to go see this, the kids, because it's very
during the
historic,
During the bicentennial, did she have in school where you went? Yeah. I remember we had a field trip to Disneyland. We had a field trip to Disneyland, and we were looking at Americana. One of them was seeing Mr. Lincoln, and then somewhere I still got the
American Parade.
I still got the teacher's guide for the Disneyland trip, and it says things to talk about in the classroom the following day, and they were talking about
I was trying
Lincoln.
to think, was Lincoln still up? Remember, Lincoln did go away for a while. We get a Walt Disney story, and there was no Lincoln in there. He was back there, but it was all movie. It was all
Yeah,
about
it was all
Walt.
movie,
There
yeah.
was no Lincoln time.
Yeah.
And it went on for, I could say, a few years. Then it became the Walt Disney story featuring great moments.
Great moments of Mr. Lincoln. Well, that's what it's been ever since, right?
Now that's one of the few things that I said I was going to take some credit for. I take credit for this. I've been bitching about this for a long time. I suggested that they change it to Great Moments with President Lincoln because
Yes.
the honorary is always president. Richard's argument's always been, but he's a man of the people. He's just a guy. That's what they all say. So
that was just it. they wanted to keep it simple because this is your simple frontiersman that becomes the president.
They all were simple in some way. They all shot out of their mama's wah-wah at one time. They were all simple.
Come on. Oh. It's a good thing I said this is not for kids on the
Yeah.
stream. Huh?
Okay, so here's the things I'm taking credit for.
All right, let's hear it.
The present painting scheme on the boats and pirates. I put this through their program. They denied it, saying, that didn't make any sense. We liked our colors. They're meant for some reason. And what are they now? They're all painted like dinghies. And that's the exact word I used. I drew up a piece of art.
I heard you had a little
Dinghy.
dinghy there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know if you want to call it an epilogue and prologue all at the same time, but right as you walk in the door when the boats come around the
Yes,
end.
yes.
The only difference between what they put in and what I suggested was there'd be a hole with dirt occasionally being flung out like a pirate
right.
was
Yeah,
down
yeah,
there
yeah.
digging it out.
Yeah.
There's a map up there. Thank you very much. You can thank me. I can mic drop it, whatever you want. Now, one you'll never see because it was in a place called Cash Control. Cash Control, graveyard shift, we have to go in there and do a standby because you couldn't let anybody be in certain rooms without security being there. Walk in there, freaking rubber bands everywhere on the floor because people like him are slobs and they're counting their money and they just throw the stuff on the
I
floor.
never threw the rubber band
So-
across
Yeah, let me
the floor.
tell you-
I was always shooting it across the room.
My own daughter before she got back to the house, she hated doing cash because the way they described how they all band up their money at the end of the night,
Yeah.
they have to make $500, whatever, their fund, right?
Yeah.
And they all throw their bills on the table and they start pulling stuff out to make their stuff. And then what's left over they have to count and put in a drop, and then there's it's the dumbest thing to hear. I'm like, well, no wonder, because that's standing between them leaving. It's putting their fund together, making sure their stuff adds up right, then they can go.
Wham,
So,
wham.
if you're just chucking
that's-
rubber bands to get
that-
through stuff, that's well, you get it.
That was limited to outdoor vending because that's what I had to do in outdoor vending, but none of the other areas did.
So I put in a suggestion that we were wasting money, that we could save a lot of money, we could recycle these by providing some bins or something. Throw them in. No, it's not worth it. Guess what? When they did a rehab, I mean, not long after, because when you put these ideas, you have a certain term they last for, or they can't use it, or they got to pay you.
Yeah.
Or you could extend it, and I would never remember to extend them. They did a rehab. Now we have these collections bans, signs encouraging people to put them there so they can recycle and save.
Do you hear the background?
Yes, Cantina Band.
Cantina Band.
Yeah. Well, we are in Star Wars land.
Yeah, but nothing that we've seen.
Sure, you're
nothing
right.
George Lucas is supposed to be
Right.
rolling on here. It's all supposed to be Disney's version of Star Wars. Sorry.
Well, but yet we've got the pervert spinning disc over an Oldest that came out of a George Lucas version. Let's see.
But I submit to you, Rex is a Disney invention. He's not a George Lucas invention.
I would say that's
Yeah, but
true.
Lucas was involved and he had to give us okay. At that time, nothing got past Lucasfilm without a sign-off. So I have those things. I'll probably can come up with another one or two, but I can't think of them.
Okay, in
at the
that
moment.
case, I'm going to take the paint scheme on the submarines. That's fine.
Yeah, and I hate that.
I love it.
absolutely hate it.
Well, you don't like the yellow?
No, his thing was, but it's because it's an explorer submarine.
Well, it's a research submarine.
Research, yeah.
They originally they didn't want the gray because they thought that was too mean-spirited.
No, it's too
militant.
Too militant.
But it
yeah.
started out. Remember the original, almost a soundtrack. The original VOs and everything. The story had to do with you're on the Nautilus.
Nautilus.
Yes,
You know,
and you're going underneath the. You're going underneath
the Navy commander calling out all the calls.
So then they painted them yellow with turquoise, and yellow with pink, and yellow with this. They made it
I don't
look-
remember it being.
Yeah, they made it look like the yellow submarine from the Beatles.
That's what they look like now.
No, I put the whole thing into them with changing the sail and getting the printing and the numbering to make it look like they were research submarines. I took a couple pictures of some bathscafts that were being used, some pictures of subs that were on the Calypso, and included it all. So I'm going to claim that one.
Now I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure the scheme did change before they put Nemo in, right?
Yes.
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 Now, what happened that you were talking about things that went into the ether? Subs was gone. That was a done deal.
Yeah.
All over the fan blog, something from Disney, it's gone.
Yeah.
Something else is going in there.
Yeah.
And I think we partially argued.
Well, it was-
what do you do with the monorail? You've got to now change the monorail track.
Yeah.
Which, so what? You
Yeah.
change the direction, big
But-
deal. But it's currently in the way.
But I'd like to point out that a Pixar property saved the subs.
Well, originally.
Well, this was recent. I'm talking about in the last 2 years that was a done deal on.
Oh,
on
with the
books.
ripping out?
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep talking about it. They're
Finding
still
Nemo.
talking about it.
I don't know if Nemo
But a
saved
number of years
it, but
ago,
it sure got people
before there was
back in
Nemo,
it.
the subs were closed. Before we talked about Nemo, they had a whole show set up for Atlantis. Sorry, I'm the one
Yes.
that's tapping the
No, I did.
wood table there. But they had a whole show set up for Atlantis, The Lost Kingdom, from the animated
Oh, yeah, I
feature.
remember that.
But they shit the bed with that movie, so
So they backed off on that one. So,
it's an okay movie. They just didn't have. I don't think they promoted it very well.
yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's okay. I don't know how it would have worked as a submarine. That's kind of out in space, isn't it?
No.
It's all under the sea.
What's the one with the kid in the ship?
That's Treasure Planet
Treasure Planet.
from Treasure Island.
Treasure Island out in space.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't seen. Maybe I'm mixing. But yeah, but wasn't Marty Sklar that one famously said something like, "I'll lay out in harbor, lay my body in harbor before they get rid of the submarine."
Oh,
It was,
there's
it
a
was
lot of words.
almost. I mean, like I say, it was closed for a while.
Yeah, it was closed for a while, and then when they went back, they spent a lot of money because they had to do all those new effects.
True, they had to extend the show building, right?
No,
No,
Yes, they did.
no.
show building's exactly what it's all.
Exactly.
So why they pushed the entrance?
They were pushing interest.
Yeah, they
Yes, they
did.
did. They pushed the
The
part where the sub goes in the cave
because
is
it goes, they used to
goes
be even right
earlier.
side by side. Now they have the one that extends out.
They pushed it out.
Oh, okay. So if you want to call that an extension of the show building, yes, up in front.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think that's just for show. I mean, they didn't push it out in the back.
That was
No. They brought it
that was-
forward.
Sure, yeah.
That was more so that you couldn't stand on the outside and you see the projections underneath. So they brought that out. a little bit more.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to hear on the internet? It's people who hate that ride for numerous reasons. One, and I was going to write it today, but we'll wait a little long. They swear it smells like dirty diapers and pee.
That's not smelling there. That's their brain playing tricks on them.
Two, they're claustrophobic. And then don't
They
ride
don't
it.
get on
They
it.
don't
Yeah.
ride
Go in the little side room
Uh-huh.
if you want. And three, they're afraid of drowning
Oh my God.
because
Which falls into the same area of claustrophobia.
Well,
Don't ride it. Go in the
it's
little room.
it's an impossibility for that
It never goes underwater.
exactly. And people, oh yes, it does. I'm like,
Goes to the waterfall, big deal.
look, I've walked this attraction. Now the water was still in it, so I walked the show building. It's a catwalk.
Yeah.
It's a weird walk.
It's very weird. Yeah.
And other cast members chimed in. Look, I worked on this ride for I can't tell you how long. It does not go underwater.
You
So,
sit below the water level, but it never changes.
and if you look up enough,
Yeah,
like
you can
this,
see
Yeah,
that.
you can see the
it's
water
right
right
there.
there.
and if it did leak, because oh, I'm giving a bump from behind. I'm like, it's still not going to happen. There's not going to be a hole breach. But let's say there is. You can
Stand up.
Stand
as
up.
an adult, even if the thing filled to where the water line is, a kid could be held up. You pop the tops open, and then
Yeah.
we're trying to claim that this happened, that people drowned,
No.
that,
No.
Japanese businessmen drowned.
Oh, Japanese
my-
businessmen.
Yeah, right there with Godzilla. Godzilla attacked in Japanese.
Japanese
businessmen.
But you know, and sometimes I don't know if these people are just trolling for fun and making it up, or they actually believe some of this shit. And when you tell them, like from experience, look, I worked there, I know, I've done this, it can't happen.
That's called clickbait. That is called clickbait.
Yeah, but some of this is further in. They're already, there's other people respond, because it's always my mother's brother's dog's friend told me, or I saw this happen. I said, I can guarantee you it can't. Or this happened, or that person died. We talked about the leak into the, supposedly into the mansion. That's like, it's frustrating because, of course, they know more than you, and of course, we know more than them. I just try to bring the personal experience. Look, I worked
See,
here. I know people in maintenance.
that's-
I talk to them. They say that's never happened. It can't happen because of the way the room is designed, blah, blah, blah. Oh,
this,
you're wrong.
This is the difference between us and people like them. They think they know everything. We do know everything.
No, we don't know shit.
Rebellion is always wrong in the third person.
That's right.
But it's always right in the first person.
We don't know.
You're
I was
rebellious,
right.
But they're rebellious.
That's right.
I don't know.
All right.
Those I guess are our thoughts on D23.
We might need to wrap up because
Phones dying.
no, nobody could see shit. They could see the full moon up there.
Hi.
And you
I'm-
can see
I'm right here.
these lights. Can't see.
Oh, hi.
We should have brought a light though.
Blinding.
We should have brought like a
we need to
little
bring a little
LED
lantern.
panel. We had no idea.
Well, I didn't
So-
expect to sit. I knew we were looking for an out-of-the-way place, but not in the dark.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't in the dark at the beginning. That was
It's
nice
better
at the
than the
beginning.
last two places at DCA that were.
The last one at DCA was
No, it was good. But it was great light. But I'm just saying,
What DCA? Yeah.
how many lives we've done? And
Have they all been DCA?
like 5 out of 6 of
we
it.
did it to Jolly Holiday.
Real quick,
Yeah.
as a person that actually did get to go to D23 for a few hours.
Yes, you went to that.
Well, I had to work
They
it.
get to go for free.
I had to go. I got to go for free. I got paid to go to it. It was kind of neat. It was kind of interesting. One of the cars areas I found most fun was because they had a lot of the cars from the different movies. They had the Model T from Absent Minded Professor.
So that
Really?
was
Yeah.
the great car show up tomorrow, whatever they called it.
Yeah.
It was old right or cars from movies.
Was it different
Their
movie
movies.
cars? They had the 3 Cruella de Vil
I'm
limos
surprised some
sitting
of
there.
those still exist.
They have the Electric Mayhem VW
Electric
van.
Mayhem.
Yes, the VW van. That was kind of fun to look at.
Here, I'll return the favor.
What was that from?
Muppet
Muppet,
movies.
the Muppet movie.
Movies plural.
Muppets.
Electric Mayhem was what is the name of the band?
Yeah, Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem.
With Animal. Anyways.
You know what? You know who Buddy Rich is?
Yeah.
Okay, so in one of the Muppet shows, Buddy Rich and Animal had a drum battle.
Yes.
Yes, it was
Very,
awesome.
very
That's,
cool.
That's funny. Did you
Yeah,
know
it was
one time
very
the government was after Buddy Rich? Sure, he was on weed. There's no way he could have played like that.
But they had a lot of neat displays. I gotta say, they had national. A couple things caught me off guard when you see a display for National Geographic, forgetting that Disney has all the
State
entertainment
in there.
area.
The very last time, Singing in the Rain, Gene freaking Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah,
The very last time he sang Singing in the Rain for the public was on the Muppet Show.
so,
He had sang it for 20 years, so they convinced him to do it.
so.
I'm just telling you.
I don't know. The Muppets got a lot of good people
John
in there. I just
Denver,
wasn't a
Denver's
big.
out there.
I mean, I watched the primetime
Because
show, but
you didn't have young. See, I had a younger brother, so we had to watch it. It was one of his favorites.
And
We
of
even had
course-
the album. We had the album.
we got to watch what my mom let us watch. For the most part, we grew up with
pounded
Get
it
on
on
the
it.
table.
what she liked. Luckily, some of it corresponded to what
Yes.
I liked.
Well, that was.
Like, for instance, the
That
last
was-
2 weeks in a rest home, you know, she's been watching fucking Olympics. Who gives two shits about the Olympics? Glued to it, ordering train meals instead of going down to the eating place to get a
Sherry
food.
had the Olympics on. As soon as she got home, flipped to mom like, who cares about this?
And, you know, since it's
I watched,
not,
I watched the opening ceremony. I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah, and since it's a bunch of pro athletes now, who gives two fucks?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, you know, our amateurs fighting the Soviet pro, you know,
Yeah.
army hockey team. You know,
No. All the big sports are all pros now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I will say one of the best things on D23 that I found fun was the costumes that people came up with. We don't allow costumes in Disneyland.
Yeah,
I mean, the closest you get is bounding.
People cosplay the shit out of
Oh, I saw
D23's
some.
changed a lot since the first two.
Yeah.
I went to the first two. I think you went to the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one.
No,
I
I
saw
was there
some-
for the first two.
I saw some costumes that were just incredible.
I did see one.
They're
that,
trying to make it into their
I saw
comic or
a tiki room one. She was pretty
Did you
good.
see the one with Madame Yoda?
Why is this tape going up?
This tape right
that
here.
yellow tape.
Oh, because I think that's for Fantastic. No, because we used to take people that way to go look Fantastic.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We should
It's
probably
time to say
we
goodnight.
should probably wrap it up anyway.
Yes.
Whatever floats your boat.
Well, you know,
Yeah, we're spinning.
I have no other.
We're spinning now.
We got done with D23. We had our opinions about it. just
And
like everybody
what-
else.
So
what
it
they're
sounds like for the
talking,
most part, we have one thing we really don't like.
Yeah.
You maybe two. You're not sure about Walt.
Yeah, I'd like to see how it. I want to see how they do it.
Well, you have no choice. That one's happening.
The story has to be worthwhile.
So,
I know
Coco, what's your thought, Coco? You
I like
that
Coco.
90
Coco's awesome.
Your percentage of chances it's going to be done.
What, Coco?
Yeah.
I don't know. All of it's vaporware in my mind. So I think.
I'll put it at 75%.
I think-
Walt's 100. He says it's
Okay,
working
but
out now.
I think the Epic Universe thing at Universal Florida's got the front scared a bit, and I want to say
I've seen that opinion a lot, and I think
And I
you're
think
right.
We never mentioned about the additions to Marvel with the new Stark ride and the new Infinities.
Oh.
I think those are a done
But
deal.
I think those are supposed to go in originally, and then budget cut, and now
Well,
again.
and there's lots of room because
Well, there's a parking lot back there.
There's a parking lot back there.
And that building looks like it was supposed to
Have
have.
a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that if that comes
Yeah.
if that actually happens.
I don't really give two shakes
But I'm-
about
I don't know.
Adventureland. It's so lacking in everything that makes a Disneyland, Disney
Yeah.
space and land. It has no depth and detail in my mind.
Oh, Tower's got the most detail there.
Yeah, but
that
Tower
was
was already
big for-
there.
Yes,
They-
that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Twilight Zone.
You know, I mean, I have fun on the Spider-Man ride, but
Wow.
but the theming, the entry, you're like, you can walk by and go, okay, they got some containers back here or something. Looks like a backstage area when you walk by it.
Yeah,
You know? And you know, and I guess that would be in maybe an industrial campus. I get it. It just lacks a lot for me.
I guess the only thing anything can say is time will tell.
Yes.
As Meandering Mouse was pointing out earlier this evening, on a couple of things being discussed, they were talking, these plans are for 2031. So
7
we got,
vaporware.
Well,
we got a lot of
vaporware.
years between now and
To
then.
be finished
so-
or started.
and that's a good question too.
Who knows?
Because some of them had, it will be started by. Some of them were a
As-
little more vague.
As I like to say, I'm still waiting for Edison Square, and I'm still waiting for Discovery Bay. So when those come true, then I'll start believing that
Those
anything can be.
were two areas that I did look forward to, but Discovery Bay at least had a model.
Yes.
Because the old preview center.
Yes.
Edison Square, or whatever,
had drawings.
it just showed up on the map one day
Yeah.
that they're selling. Wasn't there actually two areas, Edison Square and Liberty Court? There were
Well,
like,
after there was Edison Square, which was pre-World, because there was some sketches that they were going to put where the locker room is now on Center Street. That was supposed to have that little Edison Square, but Liberty Square in Florida became so popular that they thought we're going to add to that and make it a Liberty Square, and that's when we had a lot of talk going, oh, we're going to bring us Hall of Presidents to Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
well, that was
So-
actually, those maps were, that map that had those on it was prior to Florida. And one of the two areas you entered by the egg house, you entered
Yeah.
there, and one of them would have had like a Hall of Presidents. And I
Right.
can't remember what the two areas were called, but one was definitely Edison. It would have been kind of like, I think, Carousel of Progress killed that because it was all about like Edison electricity, progress. Well, now you got
who was
this
the
ride,
sponsor- who was the
right?
sponsor for that?
And then we have Lincoln. Does the presidential liberty thing work when we're going to now do it in Florida?
Yeah.
Go bigger.
So, but I agree.
But
They
yeah.
had the full model, and they had everything of Discovery Bay and the Winnie the Pooh attraction that they had up there.
They never did Winnie.
Yeah, they had the balloons that you were supposed to go over the hill.
No,
you had
that-
the Skyway Station.
That was all part because it was all based on what was the movie with the Hyperion?
Island at the top of the world.
Yeah, that
And
was,
you had the Nautilus down there.
And the
But both
Nautilus.
of those were Jules Verne stories.
yeah. So who? What? I think you're. Yes, there was a thing, but I don't think it was cool. There was like a
Regardless,
whatever,
it looked
but that
cool.
Hyperion
Oh, I
would
don't
have
know.
been bitchin'.
Yeah.
And the Nautilus was going to be a
Don's
restaurant.
restaurant.
Yeah. That's really
Ended up
too
in
bad.
France.
Sort of, yeah.
All
Anyway,
right, so let's wrap it up.
say
All right,
goodnight,
bye.
gentlemen.
Thank you very much for tuning in, all 7 of you or 8 of you, whoever. We really appreciate it after all these years. People still
The core members of our
still coming here, hear what we have to rant about.
8 out of 10 audience members.
And you know, for those listening in after the fact, we'll see you around, and thanks for tuning in. All right, let's cut that. I'll come over here and cut this.
Good night, guys.
If I'm
See you
too
later.
stiff, ow, stiff,
Oh, I
stiff.
forgot to push record the second time.
Are you kidding me?
I am kidding you.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
2 hours and 28
Dick.
minutes and 30 seconds.
What a dick.
Ah.
All right, great.
The problem is, you know, it's not far-fetched because it's happened before. It's taken a while to wrap it up, though.
Well, because, you know,
So just to give you an idea, we did almost 2.5 hours. We only had, is that 8 minutes? Or we only had 38 minutes left on this card.
I don't know how to shut this stupid thing off. I can't see shit.
Close it. That's what I do. I can't find it.
Well, no, there's got to be a stop. So let's pick you up.
Have you ever tried to put your phone in the outside of this?
Yeah.
Mine's just when I have to jam it in there, and then I'm like, do I feel comfortable with it out there?
Cancel the live.